the campus of Mercyhurst College. It's GLIAC football, and now we can say that without any hesitation here on the Image Sports Network, along with Adam Marco and Gary Drapshow. I'm Steve Bowen. Guys, this is history in the making. It's Gannon's first game. It's Mercyhurst's first night game. Let's talk about the Lakers a little bit. They're home standing, and it kind of seems like they've been lost in the dust with all the hype of this game, and I think a lot of it has to do with Gannon's quarterback. Mercyhurst's quarterback is pretty good.
Absolutely. With Nowling last year, came in as a freshman, played a ton. You see a little Jim Schuler from time to time, but Jeff Nowling is the future of this team. According to Coach Schetzel, he's still young, though. You got to remember that. He's only a sophomore in this offense. He's making some of the mistakes you expect out of someone that with that little experience, but he's still going to, with time, pick up the big plays, and the run needs to really help him out today. Control the game for the Lakers to kind of take the ball out of Whitfield's hands for the Golden Knights.
With all the hype, nothing has changed for Marty Schetzel. He says to win the game, they got to run the football.
Oh, absolutely, and you're going to see Justin Adams as a starting tailback this year. A little of Andrew Grant, who was hurt last season, but Adams will be their featured back. They've got 4 or 5 guys capable of running the ball at any point in time when they need him to, but Adams is healthy as he's ever been in his Mercyhurst career, and he's ready to go second full year as a tailback.
Also pretty cool that they have both their starting kicker, place kicker, and punter back. You can never have enough special teams guys.
And special teams is definitely one of the keys here today. On the other side, linebacking is one of the strengths for Coach Schetzel this year, as he gets a bunch of kids back, and he looks at that defense to really lead them and help them out, help them even more on the offensive side. The defense, 3 and out, and let the offense control it.
Gary, when we look at the Golden Knights, they look like the Olympic team in terms of speed. That's what they're going to be about all season.
Absolutely, and it starts and ends with Darmel Whitfield, the quarterback, but they also have Ron Bailey, their running back. He had over 800 yards rushing, so it's not a one-dimensional offense. You add another factor, Tim Dance, coming from the University of Buffalo. You put some speed on the outside. But in addition to that, Steve, besides the fact that they do score a lot of points, I think they had 3 or 4 games of 50 or more points, they won some games, low-scoring relatively, at Slippery Rock, using their defense to win games, and they learn to win those kind of games too. So it's going to be interesting, a schedule that some have said, well, they weren't playing superior opponents. Well, they're going to get a chance tonight and a chance throughout the season now in the GLIAC. We'll see how they do.
Speed's also a key on defense. They're not that big, but they get after it.
Yes, they do. They lost a guy, Jason Easter, in the defensive secondary, but that was one of their strengths going into this year until they lost him. Another player is slightly injured. He's probably going to play a lot tonight, but that is where the key is going to be. Adam mentioned about Mercyhurst quarterback Dowling and the job that he has to do. That's going to be a key for Gannon, is to keep them contained, keep Justin Adams contained, put some pressure on the quarterback, all the keys that you usually hear about. But in terms of Gannon, that is going to be especially important tonight.
And in terms of special teams, Sean McNicholas is as good as it gets in the GLIAC as far as place kicking.
I think he only missed about 2 or 3 extra points last year. He kicked about 60 or 70 of them, and he can kick long field goals too. The wind will be a factor here tonight. It's blowing from our back, so it'll be blowing from south to north. We'll just have to see what happens. A game like this with a big crowd, it could come down to special teams and that field goal or extra point at the end.
We hope you enjoy it. Lace them up, because we're going to have a bucket load of fun. GLIAC football, Mercyhurst hosting Gannon, and all right here on the Image Sports Network. Stay with us. We'll talk with the coaches next. Welcome back to Tulio Field. We're joined now by Gannon University head football coach Bill Elias. They're saying it's all over but the shouting. Has it been worth it up to this point?
Oh, sure. We're really excited to be here, and the kids are fired up, and we've done all we can do coaching them. So it's time to let them play, and for the coaches, it's kind of just to see. It's kind of a fun night.
You've had a chance to see everybody in the league. You've had a chance to see your team. Your impressions, and I know you're a little biased, but your impressions on how you think your team's going to compete in this league.
Well, I am biased, and I think there's 2 teams that are significantly more talented than everybody else. That's Grand Valley and Saginaw Valley, and then after that, I can't tell. And tonight, it'll help us a lot to kind of gauge where we are and how we do.
Both teams are bigger offensively than the other team is defensively. How does that affect you on defense?
Well, for us on defense, it's the type of kids we recruit. We specifically recruit kids that can run and put a premium on athletic ability and speed rather than size. So that's fine with us, and I don't think the difference is that much. If you stand in front of a guy and let him block you all day, then it makes a difference. But if you use movement, then you kind of utilize your skills. So we're comfortable with that. I don't know how they feel about it.
Offensively, you certainly have some tremendous weapons. Speed probably being the biggest one.
Yeah, we can run on offense, and I think from our tight end to the wide receivers to the running backs to the quarterbacks, we have some skill. And on defense, we kind of feel the same way.
Because of the situation, first year playing in the league, how's the leadership been on this squad? Who stepped up?
It's been an odd group in that regard, and there are a couple, but not as much as you think. And sometimes when that happens, as coaches, you have to fill in and become the leader. So it's been more of that than guys stepping up. And there's guys, especially on the defense, that don't want to be led by other players. So it's a funny group to deal with, but hopefully we'll come together tonight.
Lace them up, have fun.
We will have fun. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it.
Bill Elias, head football coach at Gannon University. Back with more after this on the Image Sports Network. Stay with us. Welcome back to Tulio Field. We're joined now by Mercyhurst College head football coach Marty Schetzel. You just told me that the Olympics are great, but
college football is college football, and it's great to be back out on the field.
How has it been? Because there's been a lot of hype, a lot of publicity, and I'm sure that's crept into camp too.
No question. The first game's always part of camp, so you're always talking about trying to win that first game and beat so-and-so, and this year, it happens to be beat Gannon, and that's the way it's going to be next year too, the way the schedule falls. But our guys know all about Gannon because we had a chance to read about them in the paper and see what a great job they've done the last 2 years. And last year, every time you picked up the paper, they were beating somebody.
When you take a look at your team, you've got some holes to fill on either side of the line. Who's ahead right now, offense or defense for you?
Well, I think our offense is playing better than we have at this point. We have more balance. So it's hard to judge. That's a hard thing about camp. I mean, to say our defense is better than our offense or one or the other, it's where's the other group really at? And we just hope offensively that we've taken the next step. And defensively, we lost a couple of people, and the question is, we replace them with good players, but to get back to where we were playing last year, it's the returners that got to play better. And they're the ones that'll close the gap, not the new players.
You've had a chance, as you mentioned, to see Gannon a lot. You also have been through the GLIAC a couple of times. Is there anybody in the league that does what they do?
Well, Grand Valley, schematically does the same things. Some of the teams want to be open and throw the ball a lot. Nobody has a quarterback like the quarterback, Whitfield. He can run, he can throw. It's like playing against 12 people. And when he runs the ball, if somebody comes in and he's off running, you'll think he's a running back, until he lines up behind the center. So, because he's that athletic.
Talk about your quarterback, because came in last year kind of unheralded and really had a nice freshman year for you.
Did a very good for a freshman. Actually played some games like he wasn't a freshman. I thought we, because of injuries and because we weren't as good as we needed to be, we put him in a situation where he had to carry the load last year, which really put him in a bad position. He wasn't ready to do that. I think now he's a better player. The key would be for him to, do away with the mistakes that he made last year, be a little bit more consistent. And then, for us, we were asking him to make some checks and operate the offense that many people in the stands won't see. But, he could get a plus grade in film study, and, somebody would say, geez, he didn't do anything. Well, he did it up here, and, he made a good check, so.
You have to replace some people. It's the opening game. It's all the hype. What's the key for your team to come out on top tonight?
I think we've got to run the football. I think we have to have success there. This week, playing against Gannon, the advantage of being able to run the football would also be that the ball's not in their quarterback's hands. So it's a twofold thing, and that's always an advantage, but he's such a weapon. And their whole offense. It's not just him. He's just a focal point of it. So I think that's important. At the same time, we gotta, we do need to make some big plays because they're capable of making such big plays that we're going to have to answer some of the things that they do.
Good luck. Have fun.
Thank you very much. We will.
Marty Schetzel, head football coach at Mercyhurst College, back with more from Tulio Field after this on the Image Sports Network. Stay with us.
Back on the hill at Mercyhurst College, Adam Marco and Gary Draft Show. Just minutes away from the kickoff here of Mercyhurst Gannon. The rivalry renewed. The teams have played a bunch of times, starting back September 21st, 1991, and most recently playing in 1997, a game down at the Vet. Mercyhurst 35, Gannon 18. The series right now standing at 5-0. Check that, 5-1-1, as there was a 13-13 tie in some rainy weather a few years back, 94 that was. Looking right now at the weather, we've had overcast skies all night. You've mentioned the wind in our first segment. Doesn't look like we're going to get the rain. We could, but at this point, everyone here, all 5,000 plus, saying no, no, no.
No, they don't want the rain, and we don't want it either. It would just kind of dampen things here, no pun intended. But what a great setting, Adam. I mean, here we are starting the football season. A lot of people up here. They've made this kind of the start of a big weekend, and we're just about ready to start a game. The stands are packed. They're sitting up on the hill, and we're ready to finally get this 2004 football season underway. Should be the start of a great game and a great season here on the Image Sports Network.
Of course, the Mercyhurst Lakers in the green jerseys with the white pants, the white helmet with the big M on the side. Gannon, gold pants, white shirt, and the maroon and gold trim. Mercyhurst set to kick off, and talked about special teams. Was it last season, I believe, the first game of the year, Mercyhurst had a kickoff returned against them. They were able to survive that, so hopefully the Lakers straighten things out as they get underway here in 2004. Mercyhurst finished 5-6 last season, as opposed to Gannon's 9-1 mark on an independent schedule.
Now we'll get to see Gannon and Darmel Whitfield, the all-everything quarterback for Gannon right away. And we'll talk a little bit about how Mercyhurst will try to defend him.
Scanlon with the opening kick. It is short, and will be fielded short right around the 10-yard line by Donaldi. And he'll take it out across the 25-yard line, be taken down at the 26, where the Gannon Knights offense will set up shop.
Yeah, I don't know if it was intended, but they kicked it away from Tim Dance. I didn't think they wanted him to have the ball. He, of course, known for some tremendous punt returns at Cathedral Prep. Started at the University of Buffalo. He's #1 in your program, and here they go with the no huddle, Adam.
It will be a very quick, wide-open offense from the Knights here tonight. The Lakers line up with 4 men up front. Whitfield in the shotgun. 2 sidecars to the near side. And now they'll change it up, bring the shotgun set, and bring the running back Bailey to Whitfield's right. Shotgun takes a snap, draw play. Up the middle goes Bailey, and he will get it out near the 30-yard line, a pickup of near 3 yards on the play.
Simple play to start, and you saw Whitfield changing the play. They'll bring plays in from the sidelines, but he has a lot of authority out there, Adam, as to what to call. He's got a certain number of plays Bill Elias says that he has to stick to. But as you saw, nobody came in with this no huddle. They're at it right away. He'll call the plays, and they'll go at it.
Here's Whitfield on the option play, toss off, and met in the backfield, taken down for the loss. Tackle made by Neil Harris coming in and hitting Bailey in the back, and it'll drop him back. It was a 4-yard gain on first down, 4-yard loss on second down.
Yeah, Tim Dance, the wide receiver out to the right, missed the block on Harris, and he took advantage of it, came right up and laid the shoulder pad to Bailey. And it would be oh so good for Mercyhurst in terms of their confidence defensively to stop this high-powered offensive Gannon on 3 and out on the opening drive here. They've got him backed up here 3rd and 10 at their own 25.
Whitfield in the backfield, twins on the near side, single receiver, flank to the left, pump fake, now looking for Whiteside, down the sideline, and this over his left shoulder and incomplete. Gannon started this drive out with a nice little play. The Lakers defense steps it up on second down, incomplete on 3rd.
And I think that is the way Mercyhurst, we talked a little bit about how they're going to defend Gannon. They have to keep this offense back on its heels, put them in the 3rd and long, the 2nd and long, not let Whitfield. It's a no-huddle offense. It starts to build momentum. It's like a machine, a well-oiled machine once it gets going. If you keep them in 3rd and long and you make them punt and don't give them a lot of first downs, Mercyhurst can have a lot of success, and they're punting right into the wind, so they should get good field position out of it unless he can boom a big one here.
Carlos Carthinez with the kick, back to Ben Bloomley. Bloomley fields it at the 40-yard line of the Lakers. Tries to break through one tackle, wrapped up at the ankles and dropped down at the 40. No score here in the first quarter. Mercyhurst and Gannon. You're watching Laker football on the Image Sports and Entertainment Network, Erie's leader for live local sports. And set to get back to action here. Nowling dropping back, looking across the middle. It's Zangaro out of the backfield. He's got it across midfield, across the 40, cuts it back inside. Still on his feet at the 30. And a huge play for the Lakers as they go play action on the first play. and give Gannon a little taste of their own medicine. First play down the field big.
Yeah, about a 30-yard game. I like this Dowling kid. I mean, he has showed a lot of poise last year for Mercyhurst. And you have to remember, this is the first official GLIAC game for Gannon, but Mercyhurst has had to play the likes of Grand Valley State, the two-time defending national champs, Saginaw Valley. They stayed with some of those teams for a while, and it is great experience for Dowling. He's a good quarterback. You're going to see a lot of him. He threw the ball more than Whitfield last year in terms of the number of passes thrown.
Man in motion is Tullis. Handoff goes to Adams, and he is met in the backfield. And while we have a chance here, we didn't have much time for the Gannon offense as they went very quickly. Let's run over the Laker offense. On the offensive line, going left to right, number 77, 6'1", 290-pound senior from Los Angeles, California, Jesus Lepe. Doug Kastner at left guard from Willowick, Ohio, 62 from Seneca High School, Erie, PA, is Ed Pfeiffer, 69, Alan Dalide. From Medina, Ohio, Valencia native Brooks Davidson on the O-line. Quarterback, as mentioned, is Jeff Nowling from Perry, Ohio, a 6'4" sophomore. Zangaro in motion out of the backfield. Adams the lone setback. Nowling dropping back to pass for the second time, completes it to Zangaro for the second time, across the 20, breaks one tackle, breaks another, and down at the 15-yard line.
Another nice game. They simply put him in motion, trying to lose a linebacker, seeing what kind of coverage Gannon is on. And so far, he's gone once to the right and once to the left, and he's been wide open on both of them. Here's a look at it on the America One replay. There you see he beat his man, which was number 4, Edward Settles, the defensive secondary man, the ghost as he's called in this Bill Alliance defense. And it's a first down at the 15-yard line, and right away the Lakers on the home turf threatening.
Continue the starting lineup in a second here. Here's the handoff to Adams. He'll try to break it to the outside. Off tackle to the right and taken down right around the line of scrimmage. Justin Adams is a 5'9" senior from Youngstown, PA. We're going to see a bunch of wideouts here for the Lakers today. It's a very young receiving corps. Mentioned Mario Tullis from Orlando, Florida. He's a junior. No seniors in this lineup for the Lakers, wide receiver-wise. Also see John Egbert from time to time from Brockport, New York. Other backups that they're high on this year, number 22, Roger McClinton from Cleveland, Ohio. Number 10, Mark Watson from Wycliffe, Ohio. And another big guy in this Laker offense, and we'll talk about him after this play, is Jeff Thiel. Here's Nowling. Toss over the top to Adams, right side of the field, down inside the 10-yard line. Trips his way up, down to the 6, and a completion of near 9 yards. Jeff Thiel, number 89 from Marion, Ohio, 6'4", 250-pound senior, led the team in receiving last year, and he's going to be a big threat for this school.
Absolutely. He can get between the defenders and past the defenders. What a tough little kid this Justin Adams is. 5'9", 192 pounds. He's a senior. As you mentioned, he had some injury problems last year, but he's a tough little kid. Don't think you're going to knock him down. He's going to get back up and come right at you the next play.
Missed 4 games for a host of injuries. 3rd down and 3 for the Lakers from the 6. The give to Adams across the 5-yard line, down near the 3, and it'll be near first down yardage for Mercyhurst.
Yeah, he just kind of stuck between those big guys up front. And you mentioned that offensive line for the Lakers, and they are big. The tight end, Thiel, is 250. Let's start with him. But you've got the left side, the tackle 290, Lepe, Kastner 275, Pfeiffer 270, DeLead 275, and Davidson 270. And you put that little 5'9" scat back behind there, and he's tough to see.
And the numbers are impressive for the Laker line. When we get to the Gannon O-line, you'll be impressed as well. Here's Adams, flare out to the left, cuts it back towards the goal line. Lakers want the touchdown, and they have it. Justin Adams drives it in from 3 yards out. Mercyhurst takes the lead with 10:27 to go in the first quarter.
Well, I like the play mix on that. They started out with that little flare pass, then they ran Adams, and they threw another flare pass to the opposite side. They threw a screen pass. They came back to Adams again, running the football. Just a lot of good stuff to keep that Gannon defense on its toes. And as a result, they've put together about a 60-yard drive at them, and they are on the board here first, scoring on their first offensive possession.
Phil Scanlon in for the extra point, was 18 of 21 last year, led the team in scoring. Here's the kick, it is up, and it is good. Mercyhurst takes a 7-0 lead early on here over Gannon. Back after this on the Image Sports Network, Erie's leader for live local sports coverage. Lakers scoring drive, 6 plays, 57 yards, time of possession roughly about 3:25. It's capped off by Justin Adams' 3-yard touchdown run. But I think maybe the biggest play was the first play to Zangaro, picking up 28 yards, the first play from scrimmage for Mercyhurst.
Yeah, they have really set the tone here. I mean, if Marty Schetzel drew up a game plan to start this game, it would be to stop Gannon on its first possession without a first down, get the ball, get a big first play, as you mentioned, and then punch it into the end zone with Justin Adams getting the last 3 yards. They have played a perfect football game so far, but there's a long way to go, and we'll see what Gannon now will do on their second offensive possession. I think Bill Elias is going to try to open things up a little bit here.
Dance and Donati set back to return the Scanlon kick. And again, it goes towards Donati on the far side of the field, takes it at the 9. Runs near side, Kevin Campbell giving chase. Now Arias, and he will bring him down at the 20-yard line, tackled by one of the starting safeties for Mercyhurst, Simon Arias. While we have a quick chance here, how about that Gannon offense across the O-line from Mercyhurst Prep? Jason Sibley, number 74, 6'5", 295-pounder. Number 64 is Cody Chakowski. At the center from Aliquippa, Steve Sabatini, Greg Pulland at right guard. Number 69, number 55 is Devin Reed. The wideouts you'll see, Tim Dance, Sam Culberth Jr., one of the many weapons on this Gannon team. And here's pass out into the flats, and Bailey will get it back to the 20-yard line. Shea D'Ambrosio takes over for Pat Kane at tight end, and this could be one of the critical positions from a blocking standpoint here for the Knights today. You'll see Al Donati out of the backfield, number 49 from Weatherly, PA. And, of course, the starting quarterback from Buffalo, Darmel Whitfield, 5'11", 180-pound senior.
Yeah, nothing phases Whitfield. It doesn't matter if it's the first play of the game or the last play of the game and the game's on the line. He just approaches every play with the same kind of attitude. So even though they're down 7-0 here and they're again backed up 2nd and 10 from their own 20-yard line, it's the kind of offense you think you have them in check, Adam, and all of a sudden they'll pop a big play on you. So Mercyhurst has to be on its toes each and every play.
It's your Laker defense after this. Here's Whitfield keeping it himself, gets across the 21, and he is taken down by one of the captains of this Laker team, number 29, Brian Smith from Chardon, Ohio.
And Smith really put a shoulder into him. He let Mr. Whitfield know that this is going to be a physical game. And Whitfield can run the football. He can throw the football. He's very deceptive. And we'll see if he tries to get the ball into the hands of Tim Dance as this game moves along. Dance, of course, the Division I transfer to Gannon. He split out wide to the left on this play.
Transferred from Buffalo. Here's Whitfield rolling out to his left, looking to pass. Across the middle and completes the pass, taken down for first down yardage at the 31. Catch is made by number 3, Ian Goodbertlet. How about that Laker defense while we have a quick second here across the line? Number 27 from Cathedral Prep, Mike Cray. Number 99, Ronald Buchanan. And number 5, Jason Carest is on the inside. Terrence Patrick, the D lineman, on the outside. Your linebackers, Kevin Sheridan, aforementioned Brian Smith, and number 37, Mike Sikra. The defensive secondary, Neil Harris and Will Sheely will be the cornerbacks. Safeties, Ben Bloomley and Simon Arias. First down and 10 from the 36-yard line. Shotgun sidecar to the right. Whitfield keeps it himself. Now cuts through the middle of the field, out near the 50-yard line, and 2 straight big plays for the Knights.
Yeah, and you saw the athleticism of Whitfield. I mean, you see it right there on your TV screen. Number 9 rolling out to his left on that last play, then throwing back towards the middle of the field to an open receiver. Good vision of the field. And at that time, faking a play to the left, following his pulling guard back to the right. Big hole by some of those big offensive linemen. And this is what we mean when we say how dangerous Whitfield is. He can do it one thing, one play, come back and do something else just as effective on the next play.
Shotgun, a gain of nearly 18 on that catch. Tipped up in the air, and the Knights come down with it. What a play by Dance off the hands of a Laker linebacker stepping up. And Dance stays with it, spins around, does a dance, brings it in.
Yeah, Marty Schetzel's pulling what little hair he has on the top of his head out because that was thrown right into the hands. I didn't see which linebacker got his hands on it, but it could have been an interception near midfield. Instead, Tim Dance pulls down the deflection. That's why they have those tip drills in practice, Adam, for that reason and that reason alone.
Gain of 11 as the offense of the Knights starting to come on here on their second drive. Shotgun set, twins to either side. Tim Dance on the near side along with Goodbertlet. Bailey in the shotgun sidecar. Here's a quick flare out to Goodbertlet. Goes one-on-one with Simon Arias. Gets past Arias, but Simon hangs on to grab the tackle and get him down at the 35-yard line.
Good pursuit by Mercyhurst right on top of that play, but it's the kind of play that you can't come right up and play that receiver man-to-man in their face, or Whitfield's going to throw it behind you. and they gave him 5 yards on the play. But this is what Gannon loves to do. They'll pick and pick and pick and run a big play on you. There's another short one.
Flare out to the left side. Pass is complete and streaking down towards the 15-yard line. Catch is made by Wes Whiteside, the junior from Auburn Hills, Michigan. And he picks up 21 yards on the reception. Whitfield on this drive is now 4 of 4. And if I add up the yardage quickly, we're looking at nearly 50 yards, 55 yards.
Yeah, he's got a strong arm. I mean, you always talk about his legs and the way he's able to scramble and run and the way he's deceptively able to hand off and pull it back and so on and so forth. But he has a deceptively strong arm. He can get the ball down the field and throw those short patterns in this kind of an offense that's so important, throwing those short patterns quick and hard to the receiver.
Blitz coming from Mercyhurst. Here's the give to Bailey, and he is met. Flag down on the play. Got about 7:15 left here in the first quarter. Mercyhurst 7, Gannon nothing on the Conway O'Malley Goodyear scoreboard. As the Lakers punched it in just 4 minutes into this ball game, the Knights have been driving for the past 3.
And we talked about when Marty Schetzel put a game plan in the way they wanted to start defensively, 3 and out, then drive the ball in their first possession for a touchdown. Well, if Bill Elias wanted to counterattack, that is to counter that touchdown with a drive right away. The last thing they wanted, obviously, was to get a couple of first downs or no first downs and have to punt back to Mercyhurst. Now they've got something going. Now they're inside the 10-yard line, and the penalty being against Mercyhurst gives them a little bit of an advantage now.
5-yard penalty, offsides against the Lakers as they brought up the linebackers on the outsides. Someone mistimed the jump. That'll give Gannon a first down and 5 to go. Need to get down just to the 5-yard line to pick up another first. Whitfield out of the backfield. Flare out towards the end zone and intercepted by the Lakers.
What a nice catch.
Nearly a one-handed grab as Neil Harris brings it in down in the corner of the end zone. Pass intended for Tim Dance, and it'll go back the other way. Counter that penalty with the interception. A great pick by Harris.
Yeah, first really big play of this game. Gannon knocking on the door here midway in this first quarter, trying to counter punch after a Mercyhurst touchdown. They're inside the 10-yard line, 1st and 5, and they decide to go to the air with it rather than trying to keep it on the ground. It results in an interception. You know, you start to always second-guess coaches. 1st and 5, let's see, maybe they've got a good back in Bailey in there. You try to pound it, but Whitfield decided to go to the corner of the end zone. Great one-handed catch by Harris. The defensive backs kind of are underrated. They need to have as good a hands as a receiver sometimes in order to come down with those interceptions, and Harris showed it on that play.
Run down your Gannon defense now after this first play from the Lakers. We'll see multiple fronts from the Golden Knights here tonight, and I think this is a time that the Knights need to step it up on defense. Answered that Laker interception. Here's the toss play. Adams off the left side. He breaks through a hole and takes it out near the 25. Defensively for the Golden Knights, Antoine Fleming, Paul Harness, and Mike Stepik on the defensive line, across the middle. Denane Dixon, number 14 from Cleveland, Ohio. DeJuan Smith stepping in and filling in a big role this year for, I believe it was Ian Rhodes from last season's Gannon team. Dan Tomko in the other inside linebacker position, and also need to step it up this year for the Knights is Mitchell Hanlon. The secondary, Darren Miller and Kevin Scott, your safeties, Edward Settles and Eugene Padgett. 2nd down and 5 after a gain of 5 for Adams. 5-man front this time around for the Knights. Here's a pass out. Zangaro out of the backfield. 1st down and more. Great block on the far side from Thiel. And a huge hit to get Zangaro sprung out past the 40-yard line.
Yeah, that play has worked. It worked well on their first possession. It has worked here to pick up a 1st down. But Thiel, man, did he lay the leather on somebody trying to cut that angle off towards the Gannon sideline. Take a look at it again. You saw the right there at the side of your screen on the America One replay. But here we go, Mercyhurst in business, and you're right, Adam. Gannon has got to come up with something defensively or find themselves in a hole here as we wind down under 6 minutes to play here in the first quarter. Now we've got a timeout.
Take a break. Mercyhurst leading Gannon 7-0. You're watching Laker football on the Image Sports Network, Erie's leader for live local sports. Back on the hill at Mercyhurst College, 7-0. Lakers with the lead over the Golden Knights. And preseason rankings came out earlier just in the past week and a half. Gannon coming in number 13 in the GLIAC. Mercyhurst at number 11. For Coach Schetzel, it's kind of where he expected because his team's not quite, where they want to be. A lot of teams don't know what to think of Mercyhurst yet. Coach Elias a little upset with the Gannon ranking and thinks it hurts the league actually more than it hurts Gannon.
Yeah, he ranked 13th. I mean, it showed them absolutely no respect. And I visited their camp earlier when it first opened up a couple of weeks ago, and that's what they were talking about. I said, what are you doing? Ranking us 13th. They were 9-1 last year. Yes, we have to prove it, but give us a little bit of respect. And Bill Elias has tried to use that, along with the fact that they opened with Mercyhurst, as a motivational tool in the preseason. So far, let's see if it works.
Man in motion, Thiel coming to the near side, Nowling back under center, 5:58 to go in the first quarter. Toss play to Adams. Zangaro out front, pressure coming. Adams stringing it out to the near sideline, and he is knocked out. Very short gain, if any, on the play, maybe a yard or two for Justin Adams.
Gannon's defense is very fast, and so you're not going to get the corner on them a lot, but what they've been able to do with Justin Adams so far is real quick hitters, as we saw in those little flare-outs into the flats on the pass play. And also Justin Adams can cut that back and maybe make something out of it at some point, because they're trying to string Gannon out and find those holes in between the players. But they're not going to beat him to the corner. You could beat him possibly cutting back on that kind of a play.
Zangaro and Adams in the backfield. Single receiver flank to either side now. Zangaro in motion. And we'll go out into the flats. Here's the handoff to Adams. He is met at the line of scrimmage yet again and just barely gets back there. Tackle made on the play by Mitch Handler.
Tried the middle of that Gannon defense, and that time they were stout. 7-0 in favor of Mercyhurst. The Lakers scoring on their first possession. 3 minutes and 30 seconds. A drive that resulted in a Justin Adams 1-yard touchdown run, and that was big here to get this home crowd into it. Great setting here, Adam. It's turned out to be a beautiful night so far, and at least the Laker fans are enjoying it.
Tight formation now for the Lakers. Single back is Adams. Here's Nowling dropping back to pass, looking across the middle. Off of Tullis's hands and bounces down to the turf, incomplete. And if I look back, I believe that's the first incomplete pass from Nowling today. He's had a lot of those short flare-outs to Zangaro, who, by the way, 3 catches, 60 yards in the first 10 minutes of this ball game.
Yeah, that one probably, if we take a look at it on the replay, should have been caught. It was thrown a little bit high, but no, you got to pull that one in. It wasn't thrown that hard, but as a result, it probably would have been a first down. Now Mercyhurst has to punt, and Gannon got what they needed. They stopped Mercyhurst after that turnover in the end zone on Gannon's last possession. Now they can at least get the ball back and still only be down by 7 points.
Schuler with the punt, back to Sam Culberth Jr., and this one will go out of bounds. A nicely placed kick, at least keeping it out of Culberth's hands. Gannon will take over offense when we come back. 7-0 Mercyhurst here on the Image Sports Network, Erie's leader for live local sports. Back to Tullio Field. Option play here, and Whitfield will keep it himself, and a huge gain on first down as he takes it from the 26-yard line of the Knights out near the 40. Calling a pickup of 14 on the play for this Gannon super senior quarterback.
Oh, and one thing, Gannon, although they didn't score, they turned the ball over when they Whitfield threw an interception in the end zone from the 10-yard line, but they proved they could run the football, they proved they could move the football, they proved they could throw the football against this Mercyhurst defense. And only being down 7-0, at least they know that they can, that the plays that they have thought about and scouted during this preparation for this game are working. And it's just a matter of avoiding a turnover as they had on their last possession.
4-man front for the Lakers. Here's the option play. Whitfield will keep it himself. Breaks through the line and tackled right around the 46-yard line. Tackle made by Simon Aria, stepping up from the safety position, and another big gain for Whitfield.
You just can't take your eyes off of him. And the amazing thing about Whitfield is that he also, as we said on their previous position, does have the arm to throw. So just when you come up to try to stop him from scrambling out of the pocket or following an offensive lineman in the hole, he's going to dump one over top of the secondary for a touchdown. And I think that's probably what they were thinking on that 1st and 5 play at the 10-yard line, trying to just catch the Mercyhurst defense too close to the line of scrimmage. But Whitfield's going back to what he does best, and that's run the offense with his legs.
And despite seeing the past couple runs, this Gannon offense will run and pass 50% of the time each. Here's the give to Bailey out of the backfield. He's got some daylight. Breaks across midfield, across the 45, taken down at the 40-yard line, and a pickup of 14 as he had to break some tackles as soon as he got onto the Mercyhurst side of the field.
Yeah, he had more yards rushing. Everybody says about Whitfield this and Whitfield that, and they should obviously, but don't forget about Ron Bailey. He had over 800 yards rushing last year. He is not a bad running back, and you mentioned a key stat. They ran and threw the ball just about evenly in terms of their average yards per game.
Bailey, the sidecar to the left. Twins on either side. Here's Whitfield, option toss play out. Far side, Bailey being chased by Smith. Smith grabs the back of the jersey. No, he doesn't. Still on his feet. And Bailey gets it down inside the 30, down to the 25-yard line, and a pickup of 16 on the play. You take it 14 yards from Whitfield. You take it 14 yards from Bailey. Follow that with a 16-yarder.
And let's see if now they put it up in the air, as they did when they got down to the 10-yard line the last time. This has been the bread and butter. Yeah, you can't concentrate on Whitfield. You have to give a lot of respect to Ron Bailey running the football, because he is a shifty runner, and he also can produce some power with his legs, too.
3:33 left here in the first. Pass out of the backfield to good Bartlett, and he is hit from behind and taken down by the Lakers. Number 3, Pete Snavely, stepping in for a linebacker spot, coming in place that time around for Sikra.
Now, I was just kidding, but they did throw the football after those runs. They keep you off balance with a number of different offensive weapons. Let's see what the Lakers can adjust to defensively, and whether there is something. And what we have not seen Tim Dance get his hands on the football so far. Another transfer that's been talked a lot about at Gannon is Joe Dupre, the member of the Cathedral Prep State Championship team, who was a transfer from Pitt. And he was not listed on the depth chart, so I don't know if he's going to play tonight or not.
Whitfield out of the backfield. Toss to Culberth Jr. He cuts his way across the middle, still on his feet. It was 2nd down and 7 as they needed to get it to the 20-yard line. Give or take a half yard, and he will be very close to that mark.
First game under the lights here at Tulio Field, and they only have one more under the lights. They will be playing in, let's see. No, this is the only game under the lights. I take that back. All the other.
Time, toss, and off the left side, touchdown. Whitfield takes it in himself. Went for the option toss, keeps it, goes down the left wing corner, and scores the touchdown. We're
Just
trying to figure out
amazing.
the schedule.
He is an amazing athlete, just the way he is so shifty. You see the Gannon fans, they are packed in the bleachers on the opposite side. But you just can't, Adam, the announcers can't keep their eye. They have to always watch Whitfield. You can't take your eyes off of him. He just does everything amazingly. And no, we're not blowing his horn. You see it happening right before your eyes. He is a great athlete. And he has put Gannon within a point of tying this one up.
Brendan McNicholas with the kick. It is up, and it is good, and that'll tie the game at 7. Mercyhurst struck first. Gannon answers back. You're watching Mercyhurst and Gannon football on the Image Sports Network, Erie's leader for live local sports. For Gannon on that drive, 7 plays, covering 74 yards, taking a little under 4:30 off the clock, and it's capped off by Whitfield, a 17-yard touchdown run as you check out Tulio Field here at Mercyhurst College.
Marcus Patton, 23.
Yeah, Whitfield just causes confusion. I mean, he's the kind of player that just has the defense running around, running into each other, wondering what's going on. And he did on that last touchdown play, which has tied this game. And so we got a good one on our hands here, Adam.
Absolutely, and I don't think anyone didn't expect that here tonight. Questions about both teams, Gannon in the GLIAC, Mercyhurst, and its lack of experience in some positions. Here's Tullis, knocked down at the 20-yard line, and a big hit by the Knights, and now the Knights are fired up.
And that, I believe, was Mr. Joe Dupre. We mentioned him. He's not on the depth chart. He's number 59 for Gannon. The transfer from Pitt, and he just came down, and I think he sent a message to the Lakers and perhaps to the Gannon fans as well. I'm here. I may not be on the depth chart. I may not have worked my way into a starting position yet, but I'm going to have some impact. And that was Joe Dupre, the transfer from Pitt, who got the hit on that last play.
You mentioned the Gannon fans here. Mercyhurst is not in class yet, so the student body for Mercyhurst not quite here. So for the Lakers, it's kind of a playing on their home field against almost Gannon home crowd. Granted, Mercyhurst still has its loyal faithful here. Here's Nowling rolling out, nearly hit from behind, down the field, and it's caught at the 30, the 20, knocked out of bounds, right at the 20-yard line. Catch is made by number 80, Calvin Kelly, a 5'11 junior, and a big play for the Lakers to answer that big hit from Dupre.
Absolutely. Rowling came back through it right on the money. I mean, he is, and we mentioned this earlier in our broadcast, I like him as a quarterback. He had a lot of pressure around him, too. He felt some hands on his legs and on his hips and on his back, perhaps, as he let that ball go, but he put it right on the money. That is what an experienced quarterback will give you, that ability to hang in the pocket, wait till the last second, and then throw the ball on the money. And now the Lakers are knocking on the door at the 22-yard line.
Gain of 57 yards as Nowling was being pressured on the play nonetheless. Breaks through that pocket. Here's the give to Zangaro out of the backfield, and he has met in the backfield but works his way down for a 2-yard gain to the 20-yard line. Brandon Zangaro getting a lot of action in this first quarter here. About a minute 30 left. We're tied at 7.
Yeah, Justin Adams, the feature back in this offense, but he has caught a few passes out of the backfield, got a chance to run the football that time, and is more or less trying to surprise Gannon. You didn't expect him to get the ball as many times as he has already here tonight.
And you mentioned the depth chart with Dupre. Kevin Campbell is actually listed as the starting fullback for the Lakers, but they've gone with more of a 2 tailback set as opposed to a traditional fullback running back formation. Here's Nowling. 2 behind him, looking to pass off the side, and the intended receiver was Jeff Thiel. Pass is incomplete, and defense on the play by Kevin Scott.
Good coverage by Gannon that time. Nobody was really open, and a good pass only from the standpoint that he threw it high enough that if it wasn't going to be caught by the Lakers player, it was not going to be intercepted either.
Gannon defense right now really needs to get their head back together after that 57-yard gain. They came out big. They got their team the ball back. Let's see what they can do here. Lakers set up with a single back set, trips off to the right side. Nowling back to pass. 7-step drop, flare out pass, and it is complete. And into the end zone, touchdown Lakers. It is caught by number 6, John Egbert.
And again, Nowling showed his patience in the pocket there, Adam. Feeling some pressure, but waiting until all the receivers had made their cuts, and then number 6 comes out. He's open in that open area that the receivers had flushed out, and there was the pass, and the result is a touchdown.
Last season, Jeff Nowling threw for 8 touchdowns. He's got his first here today. Lakers take the lead. 47 seconds left here in the first quarter. Phil Scanlon will come on and try to make it a complete 7-point play and give the Lakers that 7-point lead. Jeff Thiel, the new holder this year for the Lakers, standing at the 10-yard line, kneeling down. He'll take the snap. It is down. The kick is up on the way, and it is good. Lakers lead it now 14-7 over the Golden Knights. You're watching Mercyhurst Gannon football on the Image Sports Network, Erie's leader for live local sports. For Mercyhurst, 4 plays, 79 yards, time of possession only 1:23 as they take the lead now 14-7 over Gannon.
Wow, we haven't gone back and forth here, Adam. Not much defense to speak about. Mercyhurst at the beginning, also intercepting Darmel Whitfield in the end zone to stop Gannon's first try. But other than that, Mercyhurst has pretty much had their own way, as well as Gannon's offense in a majority of their possessions here, with only about 47 seconds left in the first quarter, of marching the ball up and down the field. Perhaps the first major adjustment on defense will result in a big turning point in this football game so far, but the Lakers have the edge by 7 as we speak.
Almost wonder, a lot of people kind of thinking, what kind of game are we going to see here tonight? Not that we're going to see a shootout just yet. We've seen 21 points in the first quarter, and that's not bad. A few years ago, they played to a 9-6 final. That was just 1 touchdown and the rest field goals. So
I like this a little bit better. There's some talented offensive people out there in the field, and not the least of which are the 2 quarterbacks who have really, I mean, when you start a season and you look at that quarterback position, you say, well, this is a key position for us, no matter if you're talking high school, college, or pro. And both Darmel Whitfield, we knew that coming in. We knew Nowling, of course, had a good season last year, despite the fact that they had a 5-6 record. But he has come out, and he looks as good in this first quarter as I saw him at all of last year. And he had a good year last year, but I saw Mercyhurst a number of times last year, and he looks as good in this first quarter of game 1 as he did in all of last season.
Here's the kickoff, and it is taken again by Donati at the 4-yard line. Carries across the 20, has a hole, breaks it across the 25, and gets it out near the 29, call it the 28. In that 9-6 game, the only touchdown scored was by Mercyhurst's all-time leading rusher, Craig Woodard.
Woody. Yeah, all right. Former intern of mine, Adam. Former sportscaster here in town, right?
Celebrity here in town as well. I believe moved down to just outside the Pittsburgh area. I believe Katanning is where he is now.
Yeah, he was the man back in his days. Let me tell you, he was a good kid. Both for Mercyhurst Prep and Mercyhurst College.
41 seconds left here in the first quarter, 14-7. Lakers with the lead over the Golden Knights. Man in motion, single back set. Whitfield gives it off. This time it's Donati out of the backfield, and he'll pick up the 1.5 yards to get it out to the 30-yard line. See when they set this ball down. That may have been the last play here in the first quarter.
Yeah, good job by Jason Carestas right in the middle there for Mercyhurst, who just kind of held his ground. And if Bailey's able to slip by him, he's got a first down. But that move by Carestas inside and holding his ground allowed just a 3-yard gain.
Under 15 seconds to go. 3-yard gain for Donati. He remains in as the feature back. Single receiver flanked out far left. That is Culberth Jr. Dance on the near side. Whitfield play action looking across the middle, and this one falls incomplete. Too short for Dance. 2 Lakers defenders in the vicinity, and 2 receivers in there as well. For Gannon, they had Shea D'Ambrosio shorter. Dance going long, the ball right between the 2 of them, but a little too short for Tim Dance to get to.
Yeah, he tried to split the defense. That was the first attempt by Darmel Whitfield to get the ball to the talented receiver from Cathedral Prep. And it stopped the clock with 0.7 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. So we'll have one more play before the first intermission is in the books.
Brings up a 3rd down and 7 for the Golden Knights. Bring a 4 wide receiver set in, shotgun with Donati, sidecar to the left, twins on either side. Lakers showing blitz, and they'll bring 5. Here's Whitfield on the run, passes across the middle, completes it to Culberth Jr. for the completion and the first down. That'll do it for the first quarter. A gain of nearly, call it 15.5 for the Knights. 14-7 Mercyhurst with the lead over Gannon. You're watching college football on the Image Sports Network, Erie's leader for live local sports coverage. Adam Marco, Gary Drapshow back on the hill at Mercyhurst College. And a big night here, the opening weekend of college football. Not just around the country, but of course here in Erie with the Mercyhurst-Gannon game. A lot of big games coming up this weekend on a national level. Nice that the Lakers and the Knights get to kick it off early.
Oh, what a great moment in Erie sports history. I mean, just another great thing. And it's amazing, Adam. We were talking kind of before the game down by the Image Sports Truck about the number of good athletic facilities that have popped up in this area over the last 10 to 15 years. Everything from Jerrywood Park. Gannon and Mercyhurst used to play at the stadium all their home games. Now they have individual fields artificially surfaced on each campus. You got Family First Sports Park. McDowell and Harbor Creek both have artificial surfaces in high school football now. Just a number of great facilities in this area, and you're going to see a lot of them on the Image Sports Network this year.
And you throw in now Tullio Field with the lights, almost bringing back a high school feel for a lot of these players.
Oh, yeah.
Except for Coach Marty Schetzel. He played in New York. They played on Sunday afternoons.
Imagine that.
Whitfield getting set to go back under center. It's a 1st and 10 after that completion to get it out to the 44-yard line of Gannon. Receivers on either side. Fake the handoff to Donati. Whitfield keeps it, gets across the 50-yard line, and tackled from behind. 3 or 4 Lakers in on the play, led by Brian Smith.
Good decision making by Whitfield to take that one himself, and it was a design play, of course. But on the last play of that first quarter, it looked like he was going to run the football, stopped right at the line of scrimmage, and popped it to the receiver for a big gainer. So it's that kind of decision making that makes him dangerous.
Here's Whitfield on the option look. He'll keep it himself, get down near the first yardage, and the Laker defense steps it up right where Whitfield needed to get for that first down. This will be very close. I wouldn't even be surprised if we see a measurement on this one, as it is right around the 46-yard line of Mercyhurst. No measurement. They just give it to him.
They give it to him. First down.
And a pickup of 4 yards for Whitfield on the carry.
Once again, Gannon in Mercyhurst territory trying to tie this one up. Lakers led 7-0. Gannon tied it up 7-7. Mercyhurst came right back, took the lead at 14-7. That's where we are right now, and we also have a timeout. Nope, he just turned around and said, let's set the ball.
14-15 to go here in the first half. Here's Whitfield, fakes the toss to Dance. Now toss down the field, looking for Culberth Jr. 3 Lakers in the area. Bloomley doesn't get a hand on it, but at least maybe distracts Culberth Jr. from making the catch.
Yeah, good coverage. They faked an end around toss to Tim Dance, And then he came out and swung out into the flats. And that's what I was talking about. Whitfield threw that one a bullet downfield about 30, 40 yards. He's got a good arm, unfortunately for him, but fortunately for the Lakers, they covered it very well.
Whitfield will step back in. See if he goes shotgun or under center here on 2nd and 10. He'll go back shotgun. Donati the sidecar to the right. Twins to the near side of the field. Single receiver flared out to the right is Culberth. Now Whitfield looking to the sideline, still trying to set the play up here. Down on 6 on the play clock. Whitfield takes the snap. Toss play to Donati. Whitfield taken down hard in the backfield. Donati breaks through a tackle, still on his feet at the 25 and taken down from behind at the 20-yard line. A gain of 26. Tackle made by Grant Marshman, number 42 for the Lakers.
Another nice run. Hey, some first quarter stats. Whitfield 5 carries, 52 yards. And he also threw 8 of 11, 1 interception for 72 yards. So he's already accounted for, let's see, 124 yards of total offense in that first half. And Justin Adams, 7 carries, 13 yards. We'll get to some other stats after the play.
Here's Whitfield on the carry. He'll keep it himself, go behind the big hawk mollies on the right side of the line and get it out just to the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard on the fall.
Jeff Nowling, 6 of 8, but for 146 yards in that first quarter. The big one, of course, the 57-yarder that set up the Lakers' second touchdown that has them in the lead right now.
2nd down, 9.
1-yard run for Whitfield. Twins to the near side with Culberth and Whiteside. And twins to the far side with Dance and Goodbertlet. Lakers showing blitz again, 7 up front. Here's a screen pass, and Donati turned inside. Whitfield goes outside with the pass.
So Gannon now 3rd down and long. The drive stalling a bit here. Let's see if they're in 4-down territory.
13:21 to go here in the first half at Mercyhurst College. First game of the college football season. And if it doesn't get any better for Gannon, it'll get worse first. Next week, their home opener, they host Grand Valley State, the defending two-time defending national champs.
Yes, yeah. Mercyhurst doesn't have to play them this year, but they do get Saginaw Valley State, which handed Grand Valley State its only loss during the regular season last year, so you don't take that much of a drop-off when you go from one to the other.
Timeout on the field going to Gannon, 14-7. Mercyhurst with the lead. You're watching college football on the Image Sports Network here in Erie, the live local leader sports coverage. 14-7, Mercyhurst with the 7-point lead over Gannon here at Tullio Field. And talking before that break about Grand Valley coming to town next week to play the Knights. First of all, with a 13-team GLIAC conference right now, only 11 games in the season, you're not going to see Grand Valley or Saginaw Valley every year as you did 3 years ago if you're a Mercyhurst and now Gannon.
Yeah, and even we talked about this. Mercyhurst played them well last year. I mean, the final score may not have indicated it, but they stayed in the game until the 3rd quarter. And that is what was kind of a moral boost to Marty Schetzel with his 2nd year at the helm of this program.
3rd down and 9 for the Golden Knights. Ball spotted on the 20-yard line. Trips to the wide side. Here's the flare out to Donati.
Oh, it's open.
And he has got space into the end zone. Touchdown, Gannon.
You can see it developing, Adam. They were caught inside, and whatever Gannon threw on that play worked against that particular defense, because all he had to do was slip by that one block, and he had nobody for the last 15 yards.
And 2 things you see on that. First of all, trips to the wide side of the field. You've got Dance and Culberth, your big playmakers there. A little flare out to your fullback. Maybe you don't expect that. It gets him into the end zone for a 20-yard touchdown completion.
Yeah, even big 340-pound Devin Reed was out there laying some blocks to help him into the end zone. So we're an extra point away from a tie game again.
Brendan McNicholas on for the kick. Snap is down, kick is up, and it is good. We are tied up again, 13-11 to go here in the first half. Gannon and Mercyhurst knotted at 14 after the 20-yard reception from Whitfield to Donaldi. Back after this, you're watching Mercyhurst Gannon football on the Image Sports Network, Erie's leader for live local sports. Tied up at 14 here, that drive for the Knights, 9 plays. Check that, 10 plays, 72 yards, capped off by a 20-yard touchdown pass from Whitfield to Donati, covering 2:37 on the clock.
I think we've only seen one punt tonight, if I'm not mistaken, and that was the
first possession.
Gannon was 3 and out after receiving the opening kickoff. Since then, it has been back and forth, with one drive by Gannon being stopped with an interception in the end zone. But as we start the early moments here of the second quarter, we've got a 14 all-time. Good kick.
And this one taken by Tullis in the end zone, and he will kneel it down for the touchback and bring Mercyhurst out to the 20-yard line. Deepest they've started in their own territory thus far here tonight. They started at the 21 on their last drive, took it 79 yards for the score.
Yeah, no question, Gannon has had the better of its field position, but it has not mattered to the Mercyhurst offense. And now we'll see what they have to counter. Gannon at some point during this game obviously is going to have to come up with something to stop the Mercyhurst defense, or the Mercyhurst offense, and get the ball back for their offense. They have kind of been back on their heels this entire game and really never, in effect, stopped this Mercyhurst offense, especially Nowling. He has been able to stand in there patiently and pick this Gannon defense apart, and Justin Adams has had his way running the football when they've gotten it to him.
Adams now on the sideline in the backfield. Andrew Grant coming out. Kevin Campbell now the lone setback. Here's Nowling. Across the middle, that's the first completion of the year, going to Jeff Thiel, and he'll spin his way down to the 35-yard line. I was going to say it's kind of scary that the Lakers haven't really gotten their wideouts and tight end into this game, but now they are.
Yes, and he's a big target to hit. And once again, Nowling is so impressive. I mean, this is the first game of the season. And I know in college football they've got spring ball, they work all summer, but this is the first game of the season, and it's bear repeating. He looks as good now as he did any time last year, and he had a good season last year too, but he really looks sharp here in the opening half of game one.
Mark Watson, receiver to the near side of the field. Calvin Kelly on the top. I believe that's Thiel in the slot. Two setbacks. Here's a flare out towards Grant, out of the backfield across the 40-yard line. Good block from Thiel again as he gets near first down yardage, does Grant. That's two big hits from Jeff Thiel today.
Yeah, number 20, Kevin Scott of Gannon University, nearly picked that off. He was kind of floating in the flats there and just didn't see it quite quick enough as Nowling zipped it by him. But he was dangerously in the flats there. If he looks up a little bit quicker, he might have been able to knock it down or possibly intercept it.
They'll move the chains. Gain of 10 yards from Nowling to Grant. And for Coach Schetzel and Mercyhurst, a team that wanted to run a lot here coming in tonight, we're seeing the pass more than anything else. I think he was just leading all of us astray.
Well, typical coach's ploy at those media luncheons. You know, they say they're going to do this, and they do the exact opposite.
Here's Grant in motion out of the backfield. Nowling dropping back to pass, and he'll run himself, take it near the 50-yard line, dive it down as he's tripped up at the 49, but his roll takes him down into Gannon territory. Gain on the play of 7, nearly 8 yards for Jeff Nowling.
Now you mentioned Gannon will host Grand Valley State. That is a night game. That's what I was thinking of. I knew there was another night game on the schedule. Mercyhurst will be right back here. They'll host Northern Michigan, a 1:30 start a week from Saturday.
And if you're interested in more football action, the Canadian Football League now on American One. We've got games coming up this weekend. We'll get you that schedule after the next play. I formation for the first time here for the Lakers tonight with Adams in the backfield. Fake the handoff, Nowling on the play action. Looking to flare out to Thiel again, off of his hands at the 37-yard line. Pressure on the backside coming from number 28 for the Golden Knights. That is Darren Miller. I mentioned that CFL schedule coming up. Calgary takes on Hamilton at 7:30 start. And Sunday, it's Ottawa taking on Edmonton at 4 o'clock. If you need your football fix, American One now the place to go.
Absolutely, and it'll be the place to be on Friday nights as well with high school football. And with this whole realignment thing, Adam, you're going to see some interesting games this year on the Image Sports Network. Games that you never thought you'd see before, only saw them in the playoffs. Now they're going to be regular season games in high school football.
College football tonight, CFL tomorrow, and check that, Saturday and Sunday. I keep thinking today's Friday. Here's a completion of Watson, first down yardage, and then some down inside the 40-yard line, call it the 39. High school football starting next week, the first game here on Image. It's going to be a good one, Grove City at Harbor Creek.
Yeah, and Harbor Creek, as I mentioned earlier, has the new turf out there. Very nice indeed. And as a matter of fact, the band is here. The Harbor Creek High School Marching Band. They'll be performing at halftime, and they also performed our national anthem before the game.
I formation, Campbell and Adams in the backfield. Man in motion is Kelly. Bring it to the near side. And it is a give to Adams up the middle as they fake the end around to Kelly around the outside. And Kelly is one of the new guys on this team, and he is going to be a weapon in the years to come, in the next 2 years for Mercyhurst, as he is young, along with a lot of young receivers, no seniors in the wideout core for the Lakers.
Second down.
That was kind of a setup play. It ended up being just a quick handoff, a dive play, if you will, but they were doing all kind of faking with the end around, and Nowling put his arm up like he was faking a pass, so that may set something up for down the road.
Twins to the left with Tullis in the slot. Watson to the near side. Here's Nowling looking for Adams out of the backfield. 1-on-2 on the defense, and it's complete down to the 30-yard line. It was all on Mark Watson down the field to try to take out two guys. He gets one out of the way. The other, number 13 for the Knights, brings down Justin
Historic Puffer Belly Restaurant in downtown Erie is the...
Yeah, they have done a great job of getting guys like Justin Adams and Brandon Sangaro open in those flat areas. Try to isolate them either on a linebacker, or if they see that linebacker is maybe in tight and on a possible blitz, to swing somebody out there and get them one-on-one. But if there's any facet of Mercyhurst's game that's been successful tonight, it's being able to just slip those passes out. And now you see Nowling kind of starting to go down the field a little bit more, hitting the tight end, curl-in patterns to the receiver, and he hit that one big play, and now they're also going to get a big penalty here tacked onto the end of that play, Adam.
So Adams' reception gets it down to the 30. It's a personal foul 15-yard variety that takes it down to the 15-yard line. So Mercyhurst only one penalty in the game. That was an offsides call on defense, resulted later in that drive for Gannon in an interception going to the Lakers. This time around, the first penalty for Gannon hurts them, taking them back onto their own doorstep.
Yeah, big time. It's tied up at 14-14 here. Mercyhurst has had the lead twice in this game, and they're going to try to take it for a third time if they can cash in on this drive.
Here's Nowling, back to pass, throw across the middle, and the pass is intercepted at the 2-yard line. And taken down, trips himself up. The catch is made by Kevin Scott.
Nice. We mentioned earlier in that drive, Scott was in a possible position for an interception in the flats. That time he guessed it right. Nowling's pass, probably the first bad one he's thrown, because it was definitely behind the receiver, and Scott, the Mr. Money on the spot, able to pick it off. So both teams now have had drives stopped by interceptions, either in the end zone or at the goal.
Brought out to the 14-yard line.
Pass was intended for number 10, Mark Watson, for the Lakers.
And now Mercyhurst, which is really yet to stop Gannon's offense, except on their first offensive series after the opening kickoff, really has to come up with something here to try to keep them back in their own territory, because they start this drive at their own 14-yard line.
10:21 to go in the first half. We're tied at 14. Gannon and Mercyhurst on the Image Sports Network. Here's Whitfield out of the backfield, steps up.
Oh, what a nice play.
Out to Bailey, wide open on the near side. He's across the 40, still on his feet. Still on his feet at the 40, the 30. Still tight-roping that sideline. What a play. He avoided 3 hits. Bounced into another one as Will Sheely tries to come up and knock him out of bounds. And Bailey keeps on chugging his way. As he gets it down, they'll knock him out at the 15-yard line.
Adam, how Darmel Whitfield got the ball to Bailey, I will never know. He was surrounded by players, kind of did a 360 in the air and threw it as he was jumping, and got it to Bailey, who was wide open. All the receivers and all of the action was all on the opposite side of the field. Bailey was the only one on the left side of the field, and somehow Darmel Whitfield saw him, spun around, and got him the football. Great athletic play on both ends.
Here's Whitfield, toss out to Donati. Donati bounces it towards the outside. He's looking towards the end zone. Drugged down from behind by Smith, right around the 5-yard line. That play from Whitfield to Bailey, covering 71 yards for the Knights.
And just when you think you've got Gannon trapped, and we've said this throughout the course of the broadcast, they might run a couple plays, you might have them stop. It's the athleticism of guys like Whitfield and Bailey that'll just bail you out, as they did on that 71-yard catch and run by Ron Bailey. Now all of a sudden Gannon has the opportunity to cash it in here from the 5 and take their first lead of the game.
Looks like an I formation being set up here by the Knights, with Donati, the deep back. And directly in front of him, Brad Hammond, 6-foot sophomore fullback. Flags down all over the place. 2nd down and 1 right now for the Knights, with 9:17 to go here in the first half.
Whitfield that time uncharacteristically under center.
Officials talking this one over.
Let's see who moved first or who made the contact.
Penalty will go against the offense, and it'll be called on number 74 for Gannon. That is left tackle Jason Sibley. the Mercyhurst prep graduate. He's a 6'5", 295-pound sophomore. Talked earlier about the beef on the Mercyhurst O-line. You mentioned, I think, for Gannon as well, 295, 315, 270, 285, 340. This is almost an NFL or D1 line.
Absolutely. Big boys up front. Big boys up front.
5-yard penalty knocks it back to a 2nd down and 6 for the Knights. Whitfield back to the shotgun. Receivers on either side. Sidecar is Bailey. He'll get the toss. Loses it. Can't pick it back up. Still on the turf. Smith falling down on it. Bailey and Smith fighting for it. Mercyhurst ball.
And the Lakers get the first big break of the game. We had a couple of interceptions in the end zone, but really as this game moves along, the turnovers become bigger and bigger. Every turnover is bad, of course, in a coach's mind or in a player's mind, but as the game progresses and as you move along, the turnovers just seem to be more important because of the fact that you're simply moving along in the game and momentum is going one way. Gannon had all the momentum in the world after the interception and the 71-yard play, and now this.
See how the Lakers respond. Their last drive ended in the interception. Tight formation. Nowling gives it off to Adams out of the backfield. He'll trip it up at the line of scrimmage, but roll his way out for positive yardage. The fumble recovered by number 29 for the Lakers, Brian Smith, one of their senior defensive captains.
Yeah, all the turnovers have come in the red zone. The 2 interceptions, one at the goal line, one in the end zone by Neil Harris of Mercyhurst. Kevin Scott got the one for Gannon at the goal line just a few minutes ago, and now the fumble recovery actually occurred about the 25-yard line, but they were inside the 10 when the play started.
Start that headed backwards with the penalty against Gannon. Here's toss up over the top. Egbert turns around. Pass is pulled in as he is pushed out of bounds, and there's a flag down on the play as well. Egbert, a good adjustment with that ball in the air as the defensive back, number 17, Ronald Keels, kept looking down the field. We'll see what this flag is for.
And it looks like Mercyhurst is walking back, so they might call this one. Well, they will call this one offensive interference. He apparently, in adjusting to the ball, had a hand in on the Gannon defensive back, pushed off a little bit, and this one's going to come back for Mercyhurst.
Last drive, Gannon had a defensive personal foul that moved Mercyhurst up to the 15-yard line. No harm, though, as the Lakers had the ball picked off. Mercyhurst trying to move it out right about midfield is where Egbert would have been pushed out, but instead it's the offensive pass interference, a 2nd down and 5. We'll back it up and take it back inside the Mercyhurst 15-yard line.
Entertaining game for the big crowd here. They're packed around the bleachers and around the fence, sitting up on the hill. There they are up on the hill. Great crowd here. And this is what Pete Russo and Dr. Garvey envisioned when they put the lights up. What an opening game.
Tied at 14, 8:22 to go first half. 2nd and 19 for the Lakers from their own 14-yard line. Here's Nowling, pass across the middle. Intended for either Thiel or Egbert, and it'll fall in between the two of them. Neither of them looking at the ball. You mentioned the crowd. All the speculation was that this was going to be one of the largest crowds in this series. You look back, first game, 5,862 at the Vet. Don't forget the capacity there, just a bit bigger.
10,000, right? Something like that.
Tullio Field only holding approximately 2,300 seat-wise. Now I think they'll count all the people standing on the hill as well. Another big crowd, 5,700 at the Vet. One of the games played here drew 2,590 back in '96. And I believe that the only game played in this Mercyhurst-Gannon series played here at Tullio Field. Everything else at the Vet. 3rd down and 19 after the incompletion. Single back set. Receivers on either side. Here's Nowling. Looking to pass down the field for Teal. Up in the air, gets a hand on it, can't bring it in.
Well, that's a nice catch, but good coverage by Moore. And again, Paget also over there. Kevin Scott as well, very well covered that time by Gannon. We're going to have our second punt of the game for Mercyhurst. So Gannon, despite the fumble, and they also were helped out by an offensive pass interference call, has forced Mercyhurst to punt. And they should get the ball back inside the 50 or around midfield on their next possession with just over 8 minutes remaining here, halfway through our second quarter.
Jim Schuler, 6'3" senior from New Middleton, Ohio, steps back into his own end zone for the punt. Colberth Jr. back to return this one. Good kick. Caught by Colberth at the 45 of Gannon. Shakes his way across the 45. He's across the 40, the 35. Still on his feet, taken down by Zangaro just across the 30-yard line. Gets it back to the 27, and Gannon in beautiful territory to start when we come back. 14-all, Mercyhurst and Gannon. You're watching Mercyhurst College Football on the Image Sports Network, Erie's leader for live local sports. First play for the Knights after that beautiful punt return intended for Colberth Jr. It's incomplete over top of his head. A little pressure on the play. The Gannon side, you heard a little uproar as maybe they wanted a flag. Not going to get it. Ball not catchable as it was too far over his head as Whitfield threw that off of his back foot running backwards.
Yeah, right after that nice punt return, they went for the throat. They were trying to throw it down into the end zone. Let's see what they do here.
Here's Whitfield on the option keeper. He'll take it across the 20, tripped up as he slides his way down. Call him at the 17-yard line, and a gain of nearly 11 on the play for Whitfield.
Whitfield last year 606 yards rushing, 8 touchdowns. Passing, he threw for 2,255 yards, 20 touchdowns through only 8 interceptions. So that interception he threw in the first half when Neil Harris caught it and intercepted it in the corner of the end zone was rare for Darmel Whitfield. Only 8 interceptions all of last season in over nearly 300 throws.
And a wide open set. Twins to the near side, twins to the top. Tight end off the line, and the pass batted at the line of scrimmage by Terrence Patrick.
He was right in Whitfield's face, and that's what you have to do. They're going to try to run and shoot you, kind of a run and shoot offense. They'll flip them out there, and that time they were able to bat that one down, so it's second down now. Let's see what they do.
And a lot was made before this game, not about just the offenses, but the defenses. Gannon obviously loves to blitz. They'll blitz as much as possible without putting their secondary under too much pressure. The Lakers, with a lot of returning starters on the D-line and linebacking core, we haven't seen a sack yet in this game, thanks to Whitfield's athleticism and Nowling getting the ball off so quickly. Keeper by Whitfield. Run it back into the line of scrimmage. And taken down for a loss on the play, a loss of about 1.5.
Yes, Adam, Mercyhurst really seems to be getting its feet together here, or feet on the ground, I should say, more securely in terms of stopping Whitfield. That time they smelled that out. You're not going to do that all the time, but if you can stop him and contain him a little bit, you're going to be okay.
Whitfield passing off the left side. Catch is made by Good Bertlet. He'll get it down near the 16-yard line. Tackle made on the play by Simon Arias, coming up to help as well. Number 20 for the Lakers, Neil Harris.
Let's see if Brendan McNicholas comes on here to attempt a field goal and give Gannon its first lead of the game. Great season last year. 40 of 42 extra points, 8 of 12 field goal attempts. This was going to be from the 22, so about a 32-yarder, and it would be Gannon's first lead of the night if he's able to put it through the upper ends.
6:28 to go here in the first half. McNicholas from the near hash mark. Snap is down, kick is up on the way, a high kick, it is up, and it is good. First lead of the game for the Golden Knights, 17-14. Gannon takes the lead. We'll be back after this. You're watching Mercyhurst Gannon football on the Image Sports Network, Erie's leader for live local sports. For the Knights, 6 plays, only 10 yards as they picked up 11 on the first play, but Whitfield stopped for a loss, a short run. Check that short pass, keeps them right around the 22-yard line, a 32-yard field goal, 17-14. Gannon takes the first lead of the game.
So the Lakers now will be behind in the score when they get the football, but Gannon has only forced them to punt once. We've still only had 2 punts in this, well, 3 punts now. Now that Mercyhurst has punted twice and Gannon has punted only once.
Here's Tullis from the 1. He'll take it into the wedge and be picked up at the 21-yard line. Pushing and shoving going on after the play. And nice sportsmanship there as we see number 23 for the Lakers running off the field. That is Marcus Patton mixing things up with number 13, Charles Moore. Tossed each other around a little bit. After the fact, pat each other on the helmet as Tullis takes it back to the 22.
Yeah, and Mr. Dupre was in the middle of that mix as well. So he's getting his opportunities here on the special teams. And I know we talked to Bill Elias during our live show on Saturday that we did our football special on 35. And although he wouldn't commit to anything, he said Dupre should have an impact on this with this Gannon defense before the end of the season.
Nowling under center. Adams the lone setback. Twins to the left.
Pressure coming now. Nowling forced to bring it out to the near side. Almost tripped up, and he'll just run it out back right around the line of scrimmage. Maybe even a loss of 1 on the play. Heavy pressure that time around. Nearly the first time we've seen it all night that the Gannon D-line has gotten through the Mercyhurst O-line.
Yeah, just in the last few series here, we've started to see the defenses kind of get their feet securely on the ground. They were kind of back on their heels, both Mercyhurst and Gannon defense. Now both have come up with some good stops. Both are starting to put a little bit more pressure on the quarterback. Mercyhurst was able to contain Whitfield and hold them to a field goal attempt on their last possession when they were inside the 20-yard line, and now some pressure on Nowling.
Gannon showing a 5-man front. Here's Nowling, back to pass, throw across, up to Teal. He'll bring it down across the 30-yard line, down at the 34 as he lands on top of Moore. And a completion of 13 yards to Jeff Thiel, his second catch of the day.
Thiel's a big boy, 6'4", 250 pounds from Ridgedale High School in Marion, Ohio. And he was about 15 yards downfield when he caught that one. So the big tight end able to get down and get deep on his patterns off the line of scrimmage. That has been an important target for Nowling here in the first half.
Interesting thing about the Mercyhurst receiving corps, Thiel and Tullis, their 2 leading receivers, coming back, yet it's still a very undersized and underexperienced corps. Here's the give to Adams, and he is met in the backfield. He'll be taken down for a loss of about 1.5 on this play. Thiel coming back as an All-American candidate for Mercyhurst, just like Whitfield is the All-American, Harlan Hill candidate, all Mr. Everything, almost D2 Heisman type player for the Knights.
Some good talent on both of these clubs. That's why we're not going to see a 9-6 game like you mentioned, alluded to several years ago when these 2 teams were playing each other on a regular basis back in the early and mid-90s.
And good talent for both schools. One of the things in the GLIAC, though, it's a Michigan conference for the most part. That's why you're seeing 11th ranked, 13th ranked. They're not getting the respect they need. According to Schetzel, that's going to take years of winning. Here's a toss to Zangaro. Let's go back to what got us going in the first quarter. He gets it back inside the sticks, out near the 40-yard line. Call him down at the 39, gain of 6.
Yeah, that first quarter, Nowling completed 6 of 8, and 3 of those for 60 yards were to Zangaro. That's what got their offense moving on their first couple of possessions.
Ball spotted in between the 39 and 40-yard line on the Mercyhurst side of the field. 4:29 to go here in the first half. Gannon 17, Mercyhurst 14. Field goal about 2.5 minutes ago from Brendan McNicholas, giving Gannon the lead. Down to 4 on the play clock. Nowling 7 steps back, toss across, and it's complete. Egbert has some space, 1 man to beat. He's at the 30, the 20, the 10, still on his feet, and taken down inside the 10-yard line. Mercyhurst, big play, answers back to Gannon's big play.
And that was simply a gamble by Kevin Scott that didn't pay off. He tried to cut in front of the receiver and intercept the football, and he missed it. And as a result, when Tullis caught the ball, he had nobody between him and the goal line. They had to catch him from behind to avoid the touchdown. Kevin Scott went for the interception, didn't get it, and Mercyhurst has got a big play offensively.
51-yard completion to Egbert. Now Nowling, just taking a guess here, probably at about 220 in the first half alone, passing-wise, thanks to a couple really big plays. 2 in the backfield. Zangaro flanked off to the left. Here's Adams. Check that. It's Nowling. Forced out of the pocket, and he will not make it out as trying to work his way out. Pressure coming up, and he is brought down at the 14-yard line. And a loss of 4 on the play, sacked by Dan Tomko.
And one of those on the blitz for Gannon was Joe Dupre, so he is seeing some time at linebacker here, although, as I mentioned before, he's not listed at all on the depth chart. But Bill Elias has gone to him here in the second quarter. It's not the first defensive play that he has played, but he was used sparingly in that first quarter. And Gannon defense, you see them starting to come up with a little bit better plays every now and then, but the big play by Mercyhurst has them knocking on the door.
Twins to the near side. Check that now. McClinton moves over to the left. Twins to the left with Tullis and McClinton. Egbert near side. Here's Nowling. Pass tipped up in the air, and a good play at the D-line as number 59 for the Golden Knights steps it up, Joe Dupre.
And Kevin, yeah, there's Big Joe. Of course, he went to Pitt, played on the 2000 Cathedral Prep State Championship team, along with the likes of Jawan Walker and Charles Rush. I mean, you go down the list as the number Ed Hinkle and And those guys that, of course, all got Division I scholarships, and some are still playing college football. Dupre missed all of last year at the University of Pittsburgh for disciplinary reasons, although he did practice with the Panthers, so he didn't miss the year of football, just missed playing games.
Pass across the middle on 3rd down and 14. Egbert pulls it in inside the 5. What a catch. In traffic, he had 2 Gannon Knight defenders around him. First down, Mercyhurst.
And I don't know if Nowling was intending to throw the ball at that spot, but he certainly did it perfectly.
And I'm getting ahead of myself. Excuse me, it's not a first down, just short.
Just short of the first down. But Nowling threw the ball perfectly at a spot where those 2 Gannon defenders, in order to get to the ball, would have to go through the Mercyhurst receiver and, of course, commit a pass interference call. And now we've got a timeout on the field with Gannon as they talk about things.
17-14, the Knights with the lead over Mercyhurst. The Lakers will try to tie it up when we come back on the Image Sports Network, Erie's leader for live local sports coverage. 17-14, Phil Scanlon coming on the field for the Lakers to try to do something about that and even this back out. We've been tied at 7s. We were tied at 14s. Now a chance to be tied at 17s. Scanlon on for a 22-yarder. Thiel, again, the new holder this season for the Lakers. Also their tight end, of course. Snap is down, kick is up on the way, and it is no good.
Ooh.
Wave it off, just off to the right side, and Scanlon misses his first attempt this season.
And that's very rare when it comes to Scanlon. He did not miss many last year. As a matter of fact, he was 18 of 21, so only missed 3 all of last season. In the field goal, or check that, in the extra point department, 9 of 14 in the field goal department, so only missed 5 all year, and that was almost of the chip shot variety.
Almost a extra point
absolutely
kick with that. And that will move Gannon out to the 20-yard line after the missed field goal. Talk about special teams. That's one of those keys. You got to make those field goals, especially in that range. If we're talking 30, 40, 50 yards, obviously a little more difficult, but a 22-yarder is something Coach Schetzel really expects him to make.
Yeah, he expected an automatic 3 there to tie this game up. Now Gannon's got a chance to build on that 3-point lead before halftime.
Give to Bailey out of the backfield. He'll get short yardage before the tackle made on the play by the Lakers.
Yeah, remember that missed field goal. This game has not been separated by more than a touchdown. And it's been back and forth, and if the second half, if that sort of scenario stays the same in the second half, that missed field goal could play a big role in determining the outcome of this game.
Whitfield will step back into the shotgun. Donati back in this time as the sidecar. Single receiver, Culbeth Jr. out to the right, twins to the near side. In Whiteside and Dance. Here's Whitfield's pass. Off of the hands of Culbeth Jr. and into the Gannon sidelines. Don't forget, coming up next Friday night, high school football kicks off here on the Image Sports Network, and we've got a big season ahead for us as Grove City takes on Harbor Creek on the 3rd of September. Hard to believe it's almost September next week. Then we've got Girard at Harbor Creek. Northeast takes on Girard on the 17th, and a PCN game coming up on the 24th. The big one, Cathedral Prep versus McDowell.
And I like that they're playing earlier in the season instead of playing at the end of the year and then 10 days later playing in the playoffs.
Toss to Dance near side of the field and near the first down marker. Tackle made on the play for the Lakers. Coming up with the tackle is number 7 for Mercyhurst, Jason Staley.
Staley, 6'2", 215-pounder from Perry High School in Perry, Ohio.
That'll bring up 4th down here for Gannon. A quick 3 and out. Good job by the Lakers defense.
Nice.
And only the 2nd time today that they've been able to shut them down. Check that, 3rd time you take the interception in there as well.
And big, especially after missing that short field goal that would have tied the game up. Now the Lakers are going to get the ball back, 1:25 and counting. But they get the ball back with about a minute, some change left on the clock to play with here before halftime, and still trailing by 3.
Carlos Carthenez back to punt. Carthenez, the senior out of Montclair, California, bobbles the snap but still gets the kickoff. Bloomley to receive it at the 32. Breaks through 1. Now we'll try to bounce it straight up the gut of the field. He's got some room. Still on his feet. The 30, the 25, the 15, 10. Down the stretch he goes. Touchdown.
An amazing, amazing run back by number 31 for the Lakers. as he just kept on bouncing off tackle. I don't know how he kept his feet around midfield. He spun around and put his hand on the ground, kept his knee from touching the ground, and then he was off to the races and into the end zone for a touchdown. Wow, a big play, and the Lakers have the lead.
68 yards unofficially for Ben Bloomley as he had the option to bounce it to the outside either direction. Instead, 67 yards, excuse me, I was off by one. He fields it at the 33 to take it down the left sideline, but he starts that play out directly up the gut of that field. Nearly taken out at the 31 after he stepped back.
Yeah, he said, the heck with field position. We're just going to take it all the way in.
Lakers take the lead. Scanlon with the extra point and follows that up. His miss with the made extra point. 21-17. Lakers take the lead back from Gannon here on the Image Sports Network, series leader for live local sports. (21-17) as you check out the moon, and you're seeing that here, the first night game at Mercyhurst College. They put the lights in the offseason at Tullio Field. The team came out. Both teams actually practiced under the lights earlier in the past 2 weeks to get prepared for this. You're seeing some cooler temperatures. Starting tomorrow, though, Gannon needs to practice at 1:30 to get ready for Grand Valley in a week and 2 days.
Not an easy task either way. You look at it. Mercyhurst will come back here, a 1:30 afternoon game right here at Tullio Field to face Northern Michigan. They also have home games with Ferris State. Saginaw Valley State, ranked 3rd in the country in the preseason, comes here October 9th, and another home game October 23rd against Indianapolis.
And
Gannon,
throw our next Mercyhurst broadcast in Ferris State on the 25th of September.
Right here on the Image Sports Network. Let's see what Gannon can do with the ball now with just under a minute to play.
53 seconds. Dance fumbles the kickoff. The first time he's seen it today. A scrum on the field, and we will see who it goes to. And Gannon does get it back as Dance tried to bring it in the first time, and maybe he didn't even expect it. Third kickoff here tonight, and they've gone to Donaldi each time.
They've kicked
this
away
time
from
around.
Yeah, and Dance fumbled it uncharacteristically. But Gannon has the ball, 48.7 seconds remaining. They're a quick scoring offense, a quick strike offense. If they can get guys like Darmel Whitfield and Ron Bailey in open positions on the field and let them use their athletic ability to move it down the field, let's see what they do with it.
Check out Ben Bloomley there, return that punt, 67 yards to give Mercyhurst the lead back, 21-17. Here's Whitfield rolling to the right, pump fake. Now we'll pass across the middle, and the pass is complete and brought down immediately. Good Bertlet brings it in.
Boy, he threw a bullet in there, and we talked about his arm being underrated because you think of just how much he scrambles around, does Darmel Whitfield, but he threw a bullet in there for a first down.
Gain of 16 on the play. Clock will stop as they move the sticks. Gannon's no-huddle offense, that gives them a little more time moving the sticks to get things going. 37 seconds to go first half, 4-point Laker lead. Trips to the near side, Donati, check that Bailey off to the right. Whitfield will keep it himself up through the middle of the field, and he will tumble his way past the 45-yard line. Bloomley in the vicinity, as was number 4, Will Sheely for the Lakers.
He is just a dangerous player. Clock will stop until they move the sticks. Once they have the sticks set, they will restart the clock, so it's stopped right now with 24.5 seconds.
Now in motion again, a gain of 22 for Whitfield. He'll drop back to pass, flare out to the near side. This one will fall incomplete, intended for Wes Whiteside. Stops the clock as Gannon going to a shorter pass that time with about 20 seconds left, hoping Whiteside can bring it down the sideline. Had he caught it, it would have been right around the 38-yard line with a defender in the area.
Yeah, a big advantage for Gannon. I mean, they run this no-huddle offense the entire game. And so it's nothing new here in the last 2 minutes. It's just keeping a better eye on the clock and managing the clock a bit better than if they were running it in the middle of the quarter.
Trips to the near side. Whitfield looking down the right side. Pass is complete to Culberth, and it'll be a gain of about 11 yards on the play. Good enough for a first down. Pushed out of bounds. Stops the clock with 13 seconds to go. And Gannon has gone from their own 22 down inside the Laker 35-yard line down to the 31 in a matter of what, 25 seconds?
Yes, not too much time. And
30 seconds.
And remember, they have Brendan McNicholas, who can kick some long field goals. I don't have it right in front of me as what his longest is, but I know it's more than 40 yards.
2 timeouts left for each team. Here's Whitfield. Toss play, and this one will go out of bounds. Bailey can't corral it. It will remain Gannon ball. Call it no gain on the play. Cannot fumble it forward for yardage. Down to 8.8 seconds to go.
Time for perhaps one more play if it doesn't take that long. Maybe give McNicholas a chance to kick a field goal to end the half. They trail 21-17, does Gannon.
Right now looking at a 41-yarder if he were to come in after an incomplete here. We'll see what the Knights do. Here's Whitfield looking down towards the end zone, up in the air, and this one will fall incomplete. Intended receiver was Culberth Jr. Defense on the play from Will Shealy, 2.8 seconds to go. Third down situation, and the field goal unit will come out.
I'm surprised they didn't try to, well, they went for it all, I guess. You can't blame them for doing that. I mean, there's two ways of looking at it. You either go for it all, and then because you're pretty confident maybe that your kicker can kick this field goal, so you can go it for the end zone. The other thinking is move it another 10, 15 yards downfield and give your field goal kicker a little better chance of making the field goal. But Mercyhurst is going to call a timeout right now.
Proverbial icing on the cake here, icing on the kicker for Mercyhurst as they try to just freeze him up, although with a kicker like McNicholas, a little difficult to do. It's more theoretical than it is anything else right now. This is the same end of the field where he kicked his 32-yard field goal earlier in this game that put Gannon up 17-14. Mercyhurst, from that Bloomley punt return, takes the lead at 21-17. Right now, Gannon just trying to cut it back to a one-point game.
Well, I'll tell you, we've been back and forth. 7-0, 7-7, 14-7, 14-14, 17-14, 21-17. And now McNicholas with a good wind to his back. If you look at the flag in the, what would that be, the northeast corner, it is blowing pretty good. And so it is to his back, so he's got a little help with the wind. There it is. Kind of wrapped itself around the flagpole with the way it's whipping around. But that wind is to McNicholas' back as he attempts this 48-yarder.
Matt Butler set to hold it. And now an official timeout here as they will walk it to the middle of the field. Butler will hold it at the 37-yard line. And now another timeout taken. Mercyhurst will burn their final two here.
Why not, he says.
Gannon has one remaining at this point. McNicholas maybe a little more frozen, maybe in Coach Schetzel's mind at this point after the first timeout called, and with 2.8 seconds left, worth the shot for the Lakers.
And the other thing I'm sure that Marty Schetzel has told his players is you never know about this Gannon team and what they're going to do. Maybe you never know if they're going to try to throw something off the snap or a direct snap to the holder to do something. I mean, there's all kind of, they're a wide open, very liberal kind of an offensive thinking, and those kind of things can happen. Although I don't think it's going to happen here, but you know the way coaches just like to cover all their bases.
And I'm going to take a second here. I'm interested in what the long last season was for our kicker here for Gannon, Brendan McNichols. Have a little time, thanks to all the Mercyhurst timeouts
to have a chance to look things up.
See what we've got here. If can't get it for you now, we'll get it for you when we come back, or depending on what he does on this kick. Again, Butler to hold at the 37. Here's the kick. It is a bullet. It is up, and it is good.
Nice. Wow, what a kick by Brendan McNicholas to end this first half, and what a first half it has been, Adam. Wow.
41-yard field goal to bring it to a one-point game, 21-20. Take a quick second here. We expected a great game, and we're getting a great game. 1 point separates these two teams after one half of play.
Yeah, he was 2 for 2 last year from 40 to 49 yards. Never attempted one of 50 or longer. He was 3 for 4 from 30 of 39, 2 for 2 from 40 of 49. That one a 48-yarder, so that's the reason why, especially with the wind at his back, that Billy Elias had no problem trying to go to the end zone with 8 seconds to play, because if they don't get it in the end zone, McNicholas is going to bang home a three-pointer, and that's what he did.
Harbor Creek Marching Band coming out onto the field. We are at the half here, 21-20. We'll take a timeout. When we come back, Steve Bowen will be set host of halftime interviews for you here. Mercyhurst 21, Gannon 20 on the Image Sports Network, Erie's leader for live local sports.
Welcome back to Tulio Field, halftime. Mercyhurst leading Gannon 21-20, and it is our extreme pleasure to welcome to the Image Sports Network the president of Mercyhurst College, Dr. William Garvey. And we were talking during the break there about what a big event that this is. You've been a really big sports fan. You've been a long-time Erie resident, and you've also been here at Mercyhurst in the capacity of president for a while. Talk about what this event means to those three parts of you. First, the sports fan. What's this event like as Dr. Garvey, the sports fan?
Well, it's a highly anxious event. Both teams are very evenly matched. Steve, and both teams want it very badly, and it's going to see who's going to make the most of the breaks in the second half. It's a wonderfully even game, and that makes me very nervous.
You've watched a lot of big events, both up here and throughout the town. You ever seen anything hyped quite like this?
No, this is about the most hype I've ever seen for a Gannon Mercyhurst game, maybe because it's the first of the year, and maybe because it's the first time that preceding all other football games in the area, but the interest in this game has been phenomenal. This crowd looks like it has pushed 6,000 or more, and that's something that no one really expected.
I'm going to skip the part about the Erie native because I really want to find out what you as the president of Mercyhurst feel about this, because this has been certainly in the works for a while from both schools' points of view. But when you get this many people up to your campus for a friendly rivalry, a big rivalry, what does that mean?
Well, it means a lot. We're always happy to see that number of people on the campus. Mercyhurst has a beautiful campus, and from that point of view alone, it's great to see that many people see it. But it's also great to see what a wonderful rivalry has developed between Mercyhurst and Gannon. It's the epitome of what a college rival should be. The teams are intense, they play hard, but it's clean. There's sportsmanship on every level. It's the ideal rivalry.
Everything going well at Mercyhurst as you're getting ready to start a new school year?
Yes, very well, Steve. We're heading for a record enrollment. Looks like we'll have over 700 freshmen in Erie, another 500 in Northeast. So our total enrollment will push for the first time 4,000. It'll go past 4,000 students, and that's a lot of students for us.
Much good luck, and try and stay calm. I saw you diagramming some plays over there.
Yeah, well, I can never stay calm. I'm an old coach at heart, and I'm amazed it doesn't die.
Thanks very much for your hospitality tonight and throughout the year.
Thank you for having me, Ray.
Dr. William Garvey, the president of Gannon of Mercyhurst College. It happens. We'll be back with more halftime activities right here on the Image Sports Network. Stay with us. We're back at Tulio Field, halftime. Mercyhurst leading Gannon by 1 point. And as this is the opening game of the GLIAC season, we're pleased to welcome the commissioner of the Great Lakes Intercollegiate Athletic Conference, Mr. Tom Brown, not only to Erie but to Image Sports. It's a nice way to kick off your season.
Absolutely. Actually, it worked out just fine that this is the only game, and of course with Gannon's first game coming into the conference, I think the setting is just perfect. Typically, this game would have been played November the 13th, but and we put that schedule together several years ago, but because of the new rule where there's 6 schools from each region getting into the playoffs, we ended up, so that we didn't screw up everybody's homecoming and that they had set, we moved the 13th game to the 28th, and then they decided to move it to a Thursday night, which is great.
Talk about the league. People around here are used to hearing about the quality of basketball, and I think they're just starting to figure out that, oh, this is a pretty special football league too.
Well, the parity in the GLIAC has always been strong, no matter what the sport. But Ferris, a few years ago in football, had a string of about 5 straight years where they won and got into the national picture as far as the semis. And I kept telling our coaches, if you want to see how high the bar is, you got to go to the national tournaments and see what the other teams are like, because that's where you have to go. And Grand Valley did that, and were runner-up 3 years ago and actually had the game in their pocket until the last minute, but then repeated the last 2 years. And quite frankly, the national championship game was played in the finals of the regional at Saginaw Valley, in my opinion. Either one of those teams could have gone the distance.
Sport in, sport out, there's a lot of parity. There are teams that do make noise nationally and regionally, and yet this is a league that honestly in Erie, Pennsylvania, it's taken a little bit of time to warm up to. Tell folks just exactly what they get when they come to a GLIAC contest, whatever it is.
Well, I think you, first of all, you get good sportsmanship. Tonight is evidence of that. These are 2 intense rivalries, and the sportsmanship around both on the field and outside the field, have been, in my opinion, great. But on the other hand, you get a good quality of athletics. And I think we're so equal top to bottom that it's difficult for a team to get out of the season, especially like in basketball or baseball, whatever, without having 3, 4, 5 losses. Now last year in the basketball, we've always been kind of a step behind in the men, the GLVC. And that's basically because of the policy that Kentucky Wesleyan had about bringing in kids who had played Division I 3 years and then came their last year. But they got caught up in it and got caught, and in fact now there's some question as to whether they're going to remain in that conference. The conference presidents are putting them on probation and may just say we don't want you in. So, and they've instigated some policies to stop that. But last year, Wayne State, who was our number 8 seed, had Southern Indiana on the ropes. In fact, bounced one off the back of the rim that would have won and put them in the Elite Eight. But nonetheless, that gap has closed. And then in baseball last year, Grand Valley, who was our second place team, went to the national finals and actually were undefeated going into that final game. But because they TV the final game on Saturday, it's winner take all. So Delta State had one loss and they beat Grand Valley, and that should have prompted another game, but because of the rules, and people knew those going in, that happened. So we've had some, the women's golfers did very well in the nationals from Ferris and Grand Valley, and so I think we're developing, besides football and basketball, and softball's always been a pretty good sport. Ferris got to the finals, Grand Valley's got to the finals. So we're quite pleased with what we have versus the national picture. Plus, we offer more sports than almost all the conferences around. We offer 20 sports, and we've just announced that beginning next year, 05-06, wrestling will come back into the conference. So we'll have 21 sports.
Sounds like it's healthy under your leadership. We're pleased to have you be here tonight to witness, it's a little bit of history, but it's a fun night.
Well, it is a fun night, and I'm looking forward to the second half. This is a real Donnybrook.
Absolutely.
I don't think either one can stop the other, so whoever gets the ball last may be the winner.
Tom Brown, the commissioner of the GLIAC, our pleasure of having him. We'll be back with more halftime activity in the second half kickoff after this. You're watching GLIAC football live and exclusively on the Image Sports Network, Erie's leader in live local sports. Thanks.
Adam Marco, Gary Drapshow back here at Mercyhurst College on the Hill, Louis J. Tullio Field at the half. The Lakers of Mercyhurst 21, the Gannon Golden Knights 20, thanks to a 48-yard field goal by Brandon McNichols to end that first half, taking us back down to a one-point game. Quick numbers here for the Lakers. Right now, Mercyhurst being dominated on the numbers side as the team has a total of 20 yards, 14 rushes for 20 yards. Justin Adams has 10 carries for 16 yards. Jeff Nowling, 14 of 21, one pick, 268 yards in the first half, one touchdown. Leading receiver was John Egbert, 3 catches, 80 yards. Brandon Zangaro had 4 catches for 67. And the other big play, of course, Ben Bloomley, that 67-yard punt return for Mercyhurst to give them the 21-17 lead at the time. For Gannon, Darmel Whitfield, 12 carries, 93 yards rushing in the first half, 1 touchdown in with that. Al Donaldi, didn't see him a lot, only 3 carries, 37 yards. Ron Bailey, we saw quite a bit, 6 carries for 21 yards. Whitfield passing-wise, 14 of 21, much like Nowling, 14 of 21. Check that 14 of 24 for Whitfield, 1 pick, 198 yards, including a touchdown. Long play of 71 yards. Receiving numbers slightly balanced. 42 yards for Ian Goodbert on 5 catches. Sam Culber, 3 catches for 28 yards. Ron Bailey, 2 catches, 71 yards. And the local product, Tim Dance, 2 catches, 16 yards. Again, 2 field goals in that first half coming off the foot of Brendan McNichols, a 32-yarder, 48-yarder as well. And we stand at the half 21-20, Mercyhurst with the lead. And recently here at Mercyhurst and down at Gannon, they suffered some losses to their college community, and before the game we had a moment of silence, one for each school.
Yeah, 2 people, Adam, who really had long and distinguished careers at Mercyhurst and at Gannon. Lynn Syturski graduated from Gannon College in the mid-50s and later worked 14 years at Mercyhurst from 1972 until 1986. He performed a number of duties, including the director of athletics at Mercyhurst College, and he was laid to rest last Saturday at the age of 71. Also, sister Mary Damian Mlejczyk, who worked 20 years at Mercyhurst as the switchboard operator until her sudden death last Friday. She was a tremendous fan, if you remember, at Mercyhurst College athletic team. She was at basketball games, football games. Regardless of the weather, she made it to all the hockey games, sat in her usual seat, and she was fond of ringing a bell at the games. The football team will wear decals on their helmets in her memory this season, and the athletic department has kept her 50-yard line seat vacant tonight with a picture of her on display there at her 50-yard line seat. Sister Damien was buried yesterday at the age of 83, and may they both rest in peace. That was a part of the pregame ceremonies. You could always talk football with Lynn Syturski, and of course, Sister Mary, you just saw her everywhere. Every athletic event, you know, from doing basketball games, and we did hockey games on Image, and these football games, she was always there ringing the bell, and she will be missed by many people in the area.
And you mentioned the bell. If you didn't see her, because come to stature, she wasn't the tallest lady in the world, but you knew she was there because she was the fiercest Mercyhurst fan, and you could hear that bell. Any stadium, any arena, you were in.
Absolutely. And I know from doing the hockey games on Image at Mercyhurst that they always, at one time or another, took a shot of her, and everybody, they even had a super for her, a CG character generator name for her put up on the screen. That's how much a part of that Mercyhurst athletics she was. She was part of the roster, so to speak.
Just a few minutes away from the start of this second half. One last thought from you. What do you think second half? Gannon, Mercyhurst.
We'll just kind of toss it up and let them play, Adam. And I'll give you a call with about 2 minutes left of the game. How's that?
Sounds good. We'll be back with the start of the second half here on Erie's leader for live local sports, the Image Sports Network. And back at Tullio Field, you see Jeff Nowling warming up. A scoring summary from the first half. It was Justin Adams on Mercyhurst's first possession of the game, coming off a 3-and-out from the Gannon offense. Adams, 3-yard touchdown run. Extra point is good, 7-0 Mercyhurst. Whitfield, a couple drives later for Gannon, goes 7 plays, 74 yards, a 17-yard touchdown run. Extra point is good, 7-7. Mercyhurst, just a drive later, about 2:10 left in the first quarter. The pass from Nowling to Egbert, 20 yards out, 4 plays, 79 yards. That one had the big play to Calvin Kelly for 57. Extra point is good, 14-7. Follow that up for Gannon. Their next drive, just a few seconds after Mercyhurst finishes off their drive in the first quarter. 10 plays, 72 yards, 2:37 off the clock. 14-14 our score, a 33-yard field goal by McNicholas. Follow that by Ben Bloomley's 67-yard punt return. And finally, the McNicholas 48-yard field goal is where we stand, 21-20. The kick is taken very lately by the Lakers down, and it's covered up at the 15-yard line where Mercyhurst will start. No one wanted that ball coming off the kickoff.
Yeah, and sometimes you have a tendency to forget that it's a live ball, that if the kicking team recovers it, it's theirs. And I want to mention a quick thank you to the athletic directors as well as the sports information directors here that provide us with all this information, Adam. Of course, John Leisering at Mercyhurst and Dan Telesky at Gannon. We've got some great SIDs in this area. They make the media's job just so easy, just loading us up with information, story ideas, stats, you name it, they're there for us.
And you throw in Grizz Zimmerman, the athletic director of Gannon, and Pete Russo here at Mercyhurst. Grizz just getting into it and finally seeing what rivalry in Meadville is all about. He knows the, Michigan, Ohio State, I believe it is. Oh, he's seeing it here on the local level now. First handoff of the second half, taken up the middle for a short gain.
Well, we'll see what, adjustments were made offensively. I don't think many were made offensively. They were highly successful, highly effective in that first half. It is the defense adjustments that we'll keep an eye on here in the second half.
And Coach Schetzel really wanted to work on the run in this game. Only 20 yards on about 16 carries in the first half. 14 carries, The passing numbers really keeping Mercyhurst going in this game so far. See if he tries to go back to that game plan, because one of the things he thinks this season, when the team loses out on game plan A, they need to have a plan B, something they didn't have last year. Here's Nowling off the play action, pressure coming down the field. Passes through the hands of Jeff Thiel, incomplete, brings up a 3rd down and 8 for Mercyhurst.
So just like in the first half, when Mercyhurst's defense was able to stop Gannon 3 and out, Gannon's defense hoping to turn the tables here and force Mercyhurst to punt if they can stop them on this 3rd and long play and get the ball in relatively good field position, trailing here by a 21-20 score.
1 point lead for the Lakers, just about a minute into this 3rd quarter. Adam Marco, Gary Drapshow, and Steve Bowen down on the sideline throughout the course of the game along for the call. Thanks for joining us.
And the Harbor Creek Band sounded good at halftime, too.
That they did. I hear you're a big fan of the band.
Yes, I am, because my daughter plays the flute in the band, so I had to, I didn't have to watch it, but it was nice watching it.
No, you had to watch it.
Yes, I did.
Here's a flare pass to Justin Adams out of the backfield. He'll rumble it across near the 20-yard line. A pickup of maybe 3 on the play, but it will not be enough. They needed 8, and Mercyhurst will be forced to punt.
All right, so Gannon's going to get their hands on the football. The McNicholas field goal at the end of the half cut the deficit to 1, and now they'll try to get the ball back somewhere midfield, or at least not relatively deep in their own territory. And Darmel Whitfield and company will go to work here in the second half.
Jim Schuler punted twice in the first half for the Lakers, had a long of 41. Kicks it from his own 5, and a good spiraling kick will send Culberth Jr. back. He'll retreat to his 30-yard line before he starts back upfield, breaks through a couple Laker tackles, and gets it out nearly about an 11-yard gain for Culberth Jr. to get it going. Gannon gets the ball when we come back, trailing by 1. You're watching Mercyhurst Gannon football here on the Image Sports Network, Erie's leader for live local sports. Pass out into the right wing flats to Culberth Jr. Ankle tackle pulled down by Harris, and the follow-up, Kevin Sheridan coming in to finish off the tackle for Mercyhurst.
Yeah, Neil Harris, a 6'2", 185 sophomore from Poland, Ohio. Came from Poland Seminary. And he is playing football here for the Lakers of Mercyhurst. Had a big interception of a Darmel Whitfield pass in the end zone to stop a Gannon drive in the first quarter. Nice tackle on that play.
Gannon offensive line remains the same as the first half. Sibley, Chakowski, Sabatini, Pullen, and Reed. See a host of wideouts. Culberth Jr., Tim Dance, Vince Austin, Donald Rose comes to the near side of the field right now. Running backs will be Ron Bailey and Al Donaldi, and Darmel Whitfield will run the show. Bailey in the backfield. Sidecar to the right, twins to the near side. Bailey gets the option toss. He'll bounce it across the 45-yard line as he's knocked out at the 46, and a gain of 4 on the play.
Whitfield, good decision, had the football on the option, decided to pitch it to Bailey quickly as they shut him down on that short side pitch. And Bailey able to get decent yardage out of it. But again, Mercyhurst, these are the kind of third down plays, middle of the field, that you really have to stop at them, because if they pick up a first down, now they're across the 50, they're in Mercyhurst territory. The Lakers defensively now, big play here on 3rd and about 5.
Shotgun set. Sidecar off to the left as Bailey is about 4 steps away. Whitfield rolling out 4 steps, now toss up the field towards Simon Arias. And Arias, does he pull it in for the interception? Yes, he does.
Bad decision by Whitfield. Really didn't have an open receiver, and it looked like he overthrew him. He might have tried to just overthrow him on purpose and throw it incomplete, but he was there for the pickoff, and the Lakers get the first turnover here of the second half, and they'll have the football at their own 25-yard line.
Let's go back to that first half. Special teams was a big key for both of these squads. Is there a winner in the special teams battle because you have the field goals on one side against the punt returns on the other? It could have evened out.
I think it did even out, and the score indicates that at 21-20. Both kickers making field goals, especially McNicholas, big 48-yarder with the wind to his back. And then the punt return by the Lakers, Bloomley, is the play that has the Lakers in front here, 21-20.
High formation, Kevin Campbell, the setback in front of Justin Adams. Run over your Laker offense again in one play. Nowling sends Tullis in motion, and they'll give it to Tullis on the end around. He has got some room on the near side. He's at the 30 and knocked out at the 34-yard line. A pickup of 8, nearly 9 on the play.
Yeah, it looked like Marty Schetzel wants to open things up, spread out this Gannon defense. This Gannon defense is not big, but it's fast. Their linebackers are exceptionally good. The linebackers and what they do and how they perform is the key to how well they play defensively. And that play certainly will spread them out a little bit.
Offensively for the Lakers, Jesus Lepe, Doug Kastner, Ed Pfeiffer, Alan Delide, and Brooks Davidson on the O-line. Tullis, Egbert, your leading receivers thus far today. Jeff Teal, the tight end. Kevin Campbell, Justin Adams, and Brandon Zangaro right now in the backfield. It's Adams with the carry. And he will get near the 35-yard line and near first down yardage on the play as he had to get it across the 35 and got to the 35. We'll see where the spot is.
Yeah, one thing to consider as the second half moves along, every coach is concerned about conditioning. Of course, you have full summertime conditions, and it goes back to spring practice and off-season conditioning. But you always wonder when you get into a game on a relatively hot night, here it is late August, how well the conditioning is going to hold up throughout the course of a 3-4 hour game. So that's something to keep our eye on, that battle of attrition up front and who may have the advantage as the second half moves along.
I can tell you I need to run more for next week. Nowling dropping back to pass, pressure coming, and he will be taken down for the second time here tonight. Kevin Scott coming up with the sack as Nowling had his offensive line disintegrate within a matter of 3 seconds on that play.
Yeah, and a good blitz by Scott, who had an interception at the goal line in that first half and set a record for Gannon last season for number of interceptions in one season. And that, again, shows the versatility and speed of Gannon's defense. They brought him in from the corner, and he was able to get through the pass protection and make the big sack on the play. So all of a sudden it goes from 1st and 10 to 2nd and very long.
2nd and 18. Kelly and McClinton on the near side of the field. Zangaro in motion in the backfield. Nowling under center. He'll roll out. Toss out to Zangaro in the flats at the 30. Hit up by 3 Gannon Golden Knight defenders at the 35-yard line. Goes over top of that to get back at least within the original 10 yards for the Lakers. Pickup of 9 on the play.
Yeah, that was a big play in the first half for Mercyhurst, just swinging it out there. And Gannon's pursuit that time, cutting it down. That play went for more yardage when they ran it 2 or 3 times in the first half. So Gannon making an adjustment to that play, although they were playing a little loose on 2nd down and 18. Let's see what they do on 3rd and 10.
No flank trips out to the right. Single back set is Adams. Offensive line is down. Here's Nowling dropping back. Pressure coming. He'll toss it down the field for Egbert, and just out of his reach. Pressure on the play for Miller. The pass falls incomplete.
And Nowling had to throw that under tremendous pressure, and it was the pressure that perhaps caused him to throw it just out of the reach of Egbert. And he was covered well on the play by Gannon and their defensive back, Darren Miller. So 4th down, and Gannon's defense comes up big, and so far it's an exact opposite of the first half when the offense had their way up and down the field. Now the first part here, the first 5 minutes of the second half, it's been the defense forcing teams to punt.
Jim Schuler punted twice in the first half total. He's punted twice now in the first 5 minutes of the second half.
Oh!
And immediately hit on the play as he brings it in. Number 3, Good Bertlett, returning the punt this time instead of Colberth Jr., and he gets decked. Gannon gets the ball back. When we come back, 21-20 Mercyhurst with the lead on the Image Sports Network, Erie's leader for live local sports. And the give. Check that, it's Woodfield keeping on the first play. We'll run it down the field, get back inside for about a 3-yard gain. Big hit on the last play on that punt return.
Yeah, Marcus Patton, defensive back, junior, 5'9", 185 yards, 5 pounds, I should say, from Cheney High School in Youngstown, Ohio. And he really stopped the Gannon returner in his tracks.
9:35 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Woodfield sets up, shotgun, twins to the near side with the man in the slot. Here's the fake to Bailey. And on the play, Whitfield trying to follow Bailey up through the gut of the offensive line. Doesn't even make it past Bailey in the backfield.
Yeah, number 29, Brian Smith, really clogged up that play. He's a 6', 230-pound linebacker from Chardon, Ohio. You've mentioned his name a few times here tonight, Adam, and that he had a very key play right there in clogging that up and not allowing Whitfield to follow Bailey through.
Comes back as Mercyhurst's leading tackler from last season. A very young team are the Lakers, but thanks to last season, they've got a lot of experienced players, including their quarterback, Jeff Nowling. now a sophomore. Here's Whitfield on the toss. Bailey upended in the backfield again, and who is it this time around? Number 20, Neil Harris coming up.
Yeah, Harris has protected that corner well. No one is getting around Neil Harris tonight on that corner. Bailey, Whitfield, you name it. That's about the second or third time he has come up and made that oh-so-tough one-on-one open field tackle on a pretty good running back, Ron Bailey. Nice play.
Loss of 5 yards on the play. The running back's really not getting going in this game, as Bailey, the starter, and Adams, the starter for Mercyhurst, don't have the bulk of the yardage. It's Zangaro receiving out of the backfield, and for Gannon, of course, it's Whitfield on the run. And even Al Donaldi, who's only carried the ball 4 times in this game, has more yards than Bailey at this moment. Here's Carlos Carthenius' kick. Fair caught by Bloomley at the 40-yard line, giving Mercyhurst good field position when they start the drive. When we come back, 8 minutes to go exactly in the third quarter. 21, Mercyhurst, Gannon 20 on the Image Sports Network, Erie's leader for live local sport. Back to action here. Here's Zangaro with the pitch, looking to pass for Nowling down the field, and the pass falls incomplete as Nowling got held up behind the line. Zangaro avoids being tackled, or sacked in this case, as he's trying to find Nowling down the sideline. Pass falls short.
Boy, that's one of those plays that really looks good if it works, and it really can turn into a disaster if it doesn't, and that was kind of in between. It kind of fluttered to the ground incomplete. And I think Marty Schetzel breathed a sigh of relief once he saw the pass just kind of flying out there. But if that play works, it would have been a big play. He was coming out of there clean.
And no one on the near side of the field. 7:54 to go here, third quarter. Nowling will go back under center. Twins to the right, single receiver Tullis to the left. And Adams in the backfield. Quick slant inside to Egbert. He bounces off 2 defenders and takes it out nearly for a 7 to 8 yard gain on the play.
Yeah, pulling it right out of the hands of Kevin Scott, who was right on top of him. We talked about those halftime adjustments. What appears that both Coach Bill Elias of Gannon and Marty Schetzel of Mercyhurst have done so defensively. It has been a stalemate here in the third quarter. Still 21-20 Mercyhurst, the lead they held at the half. And we're under 7.5 minutes to go here in the third quarter.
Kevin Campbell checks back into the game in place of Egbert. As the Lakers go back to the I formation, Campbell, the 5'8", 220-pound senior from Oakdale, PA.
Joe Dupre just about in on every play, lined up sort of as a right defensive end now for Gannon.
Here's the toss play to Adams out of the backfield. He gets first down yardage and then some. Out to the 46, nearly 45-yard line of the Gannon Golden Knights as Campbell comes back in just to lead that train down the field for Justin Adams.
Yeah, got some good blocking on that side. They ran away from that side that I said Joe Dupre was on and opened up a nice hole. So the Lakers, with the 1-point lead, move the sticks, and they're back in Gannon territory for, I believe, is the first time here in the second half.
Lakers have been trapped in their own end. Now an offset eye with Adams, the deep back, Tullis, the near side. Single receiver flanked off to the right, and Thiel on the near side of the line. Man in motion is Zangaro.
He's wide open, too.
Nowling finds him out in the flat. Zangaro puts the shoulder down, gets across the 40-yard line, and down at the 36 as he's hit out of bounds. A gain of nearly 9 on the play.
Yeah, and that was a perfect example. As you can see why that play has worked so much, is that the receiver on that side simply flushed the DB, which happened to be Darren Miller, followed the receiver out, and nobody, when Zangaro came in motion, nobody followed him that way, and he simply slid out into the flats and was wide open.
And I think a good variation of that for the Lakers would be a pump fake to Zangaro, because they had Thiel coming off the line. You fake it to Zangaro, bring the defensive backs in on him, you've got Thiel wide open down the field.
Yeah, send that downstairs.
I'll call that in next chance I get. Nowling, I formation behind him, receivers on either side. Here's the give to Justin Adams. Adams into the line of scrimmage off the right side. And he'll get across the 40-yard line, across the 35 rather, and pick up that first down for the Lakers.
Adams getting those tough yards inside despite being only 5'9", 192 pounds from Ursuline High School in Youngstown, Ohio. Great football down there in the Youngstown area with Cardinal Mooney and Ursuline and a few others. And Justin Adams a product of that.
Offset eye with Adams remaining in there as the feature back. We've only seen Andrew Grant in there for, I believe, 2 plays on the evening. Here's the give to Adams into the backfield, and he is met at the line of scrimmage coming up with the tackle. First man there is Antoine Fleming coming from his defensive end position to make the first initial hit.
And this is what Marty Schetzel likes. This is not tried to open it up to start this with a little halfback option pass back to his quarterback. But since then, it's been pretty simple. Little slant pattern here, a little flare out there. Justin Adams running off tackle a few times. And it's a good drive for the Lakers so far as we count down to 5 minutes left here in the third quarter.
Taking off 3 minutes thus far. Again, the offset I formation. Here's Tullis in motion coming to the side of the line. Nowling back to pass, pressure coming.
Oh!
Nowling will go down, and no one in the middle of the field except number 42, Mitchell Hanlon, coming up, third sack of the game for the Golden Knights.
Yes, and he came roaring through there. Somebody missed a block as Miller came through, or Hanlon, I should say, came through and sacked Nowling. A big loss on the play, too, and Nowling had absolutely no chance of getting away from that one. So instead of maybe trying to make some ground up, scramble his way back to the line of scrimmage, big loss.
Loss of nearly 10 on the play. As it brings up a 3rd down and 17 with 4:20 to go here in the third quarter. Still, our score remains Mercyhurst 21, Gannon 20. Single back set, trips to the wide side left. Here's Nowling dropping back, looking to gun it down the field. Has 2 in the area, and it's caught by the Lakers. Do they call him down at the 1? It's Mark Watson robbing Mario Tullis from the catch. Tullis was still on his feet. He may have had the touchdown, but Watson brings it in at the 1, a 41-yard pass down to the 1.
Should have been a touchdown. I don't know if both receivers were supposed to be in the area at the same time, Adam, but it was a great catch by number 10, Mark Watson, with Tullis right there running almost step for step with him. If Watson doesn't catch it, Tullis has it in stride, and now they've got 1st and goal at the 1-yard line.
High formation. Here's the give to Adams. He'll duck it in off the right side. Touchdown, Lakers.
Big play, because that was a 3rd and 18 play. If they don't make that, they're out of field goal range. They have to punt it back to Gannon. But Nowling showing a strong arm, and he threw it on the money, no matter which receiver he was actually aiming for. Watson is the one who brought it down, and Nowling setting that touchdown up with a great throw, and he got great protection, and just like that, they turned a 3rd and 18 into a big play that results 1 play later in a touchdown, and now has a chance to take an 8-point lead, which would force Gannon, if they would score a touchdown, of having to think about going for 2, because we're getting late in this game, 3:48 remaining in the third quarter.
Justin Adams last season had 5 touchdowns. He's got 2 here on the evening already. Scanlon on for the extra point, a chance to extend it to 8. The snap is high. Teal will take it out. Pressure on. He'll throw it out towards the end zone, and it'll be incomplete. I don't believe that was an intended 2-point play. The snap just came in so high. Keeps it at a 7-point game. Gannon within a touchdown and an extra point now. 27-20 on the Conway O'Malley Goodyear scoreboard. Back after this on the Image Sports and Entertainment Network. 27-20, Mercyhurst extends its lead to a full touchdown and extra point. Now that drive, 9 plays, 59 yards, 4:19 off the clock, and it's capped off by a 1-yard touchdown run by Justin Adams. The big play, of course, that 41-yard completion that puts Jeff Nowling over the 320-yard mark in this ballgame. Granted, he had 268 coming into the half.
Yeah, he's having a great opening game here, and worth mentioning again, I said it in the first half, he looks as good here in the first game of the season as he did in any game last year, and he played well last year, don't get me wrong, but he looks very sharp here for an opening game. It just goes to show perhaps the kind of effort and determination and dedication that he put into off-season training.
Tim Dance and now Ronald Keels set back to return this kick from Phil Scanlon. 3:48 to go in the third. Kick is off towards Dance. He'll field it, and it'll go through his arms. Dance will now bring it out of the end zone and loses it down on the turf. Drop back down at the 3-yard line, waving around. Let's see who's got it. Lakers say they have it, and they do.
Oh my, what a big play.
And what a mistake for Tim Dance right now. Yes, it goes through his arms. He goes back to field it, and at that point should take the knee. Instead, gets a rush of energy and tries to go.
He was 9 yards deep in his own end zone.
And a break now for the Lakers as they come off that 1-yard touchdown run. A chance to extend the lead just a few plays later.
Well, you mentioned Adams' special teams maybe being a bit even. Well, that play just put it over the top in terms of favoring Mercyhurst. A big special teams play. A mistake by Tim Dance, who has not had a good night in terms of holding on to the football on those kick returns. And now Mercyhurst 3 yards away from extending their 7-point lead, and nobody has had more than a 7-point lead tonight. Mercyhurst led by scores of 7-0, 14-7. They also led by 21-17.
And now the officials will stop this before Mercyhurst gets started. You got to think for Tim Dance, he's returning home. It's his first game back here in Erie. Pumped up for the crowd. A ton of Gannon people here, a ton of family here. And with that, you know, Tim Dance wants to come in and do something big. Instead, right now, Mercyhurst knocking on the doorstep.
Not happening tonight.
27-20, Mercyhurst has the ball on the Gannon 3 back after this on the Image Sports and Entertainment Network, Erie's leader for live local sports. Timeout on the field was taken by Gannon as they try to regroup. As the turnover gives Mercyhurst the ball, and as you said, Gary, a chance to extend the lead for the first time into double digits. The biggest lead we've seen has been 7 points.
Yeah, it's been back and forth. We've had a great game, very entertaining. It's a packed house here. Worth mentioning again, this is a historical game from the perspective of Tulio Field. First night game with the new lights, and the first time Mercyhurst and Gannon have played as GLIAC opponents. Gannon joining the conference this year.
Here's the give to Adams. He's going to try to duck his way in, and he does. Touchdown from 3 yards out. And did I mention last time Justin Adams had 5 touchdowns all last season? He has got 3 here in the game tonight.
Boy, he gets the tough yardage inside. He's a little guy, 5'9", 180 pounds or so, soaking wet perhaps. But he'll get the job done when you give it to him. Finds the hole behind those big offensive linemen. And the huge turnover on the kickoff following Mercyhurst's touchdown to put him in the lead 27-20, now has them in the lead 33-20 with Scanlon trying to tack on the 34th point of the night for Mercyhurst.
Thiel again to hold. Last time around, Lakers couldn't get the snap down enough for Thiel to grab it and put it down for Scanlon. We'll see how it goes this time. Snap is down, the hold is good, the kick is up, it is on the way, and it is good. Mercyhurst now in front, 34-20 over top of the Gannon Golden Knights. Take a timeout back after this. Gannon gets the ball back when we come back on the Image Sports and Entertainment Network, Erie's leader for live local sports. Back on the hill at Mercyhurst College as the Lakers take a 34-20 lead over the Gannon Golden Knights. And Gannon will get the ball back and try to do better this time around on the kickoff that they did the last time as they turned it over to Mercyhurst at the 3. And now we see number 17, Ron Keelsback, teamed up with the original starter on the kick return team, Al Donati, as they've taken Tim Dance off the field for this kick return.
Probably a good idea, probably a bit emotional about the mistake that has cost his team a touchdown.
Here's the kick from Scanlon. It'll be fielded by Keels at the 4-yard line. Has a full head of steam across the 20, across the 25, slipped up and taken down right around the 26-yard line. Flashing back to the last time Mercyhurst and Gannon played, we see Justin Adams with 3 touchdowns here tonight. Justin Gibson scored 3 rushing touchdowns in the Mercyhurst 35, Gannon 18 victory on October 11th, 1997, the last game that these two teams played.
There's a blast from the past. Hey, the last time Gannon was behind by this much was opening game when they lost to Wayne State 38-21. Wayne State scored 17 points in the 4th quarter and erased a Gannon lead and beat them 38-21. Gannon was at 21-17 going into that 4th quarter.
Tight trips formation. Whitfield trying to break out of the backfield, still on his feet at the 30-yard line. He dives out for a 3-yard gain. And you mentioned that Wayne State game for Gannon, their only loss last season as they went on to pick up the final 9 victories of the year. That game against the Warriors was the only chance that GLIAC coaches really got to see Gannon on tape, and it was more so to see Wayne State than it was to see Gannon.
That last play, by the way, Whitfield just did it all himself. That was a great defensive scheme by Mercyhurst to keep him trapped. They had him trapped at the line of scrimmage, but he managed to wiggle his way out and get about 3 or 4 yards.
2:50 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Whitfield back to pass, and this one incomplete. Intended receiver is Culberth Jr., and defense on the play by a couple Lakers, one including Will Shealy, the initial hit from behind on Culberth Jr.
Well, whatever Mercyhurst has done here adjustment-wise in the second half on defense, it has certainly worked because Gannon is nowhere near as effective in either running or throwing the football as they were in that first half. And they've got their work cut out for them, down by 14 points here with 2:42 remaining in the third quarter.
Mentioned the road doesn't get any easier for either team after this game, as the defending national champion Grand Valley State comes to Erie to take on Gannon next week. Number 9 preseason ranked Northern Michigan comes to take on the Lakers. Here's Donati, takes it up to the 45-yard line. Gain of 14 on the play.
Good little simple flip out to Donati in the flats, and he made something out of it, which is the kind of athletes that Gannon has on offense and the kind that they're going to have to try to get loose here. It's that old thing, you don't try to stop him, you just try to contain him, and that's pretty much what you do with this Gannon offense. You're not going to stop it completely, but if you can contain them and force them into some third and longs, you got a chance.
Call it a gain of 12. Here's the flip play, Donati again. Across the 45, out near the 47-yard line as he continues to move. Gannon ahead in the offense.
Yeah, Brian Smith had Whitfield just after he pitched the ball, so a good decision by Whitfield to get rid of that, or else it would have resulted in about a 3 or 4 yard loss.
Something I'd think of after this game for Gannon and Coach Bill Elias is a drill to help the team hold on to the ball, because you see Donati juggle it a little bit on that last play. Dance, obviously, a few moments ago. Earlier, a couple fumbles that could have hurt them. One that didn't, one that did. Some play for Grand Valley next week, a drill that really gets the ball into their stomachs and has the team holding on to it. Shotgun set, twins to either side. Donati in the backfield as the sidecar. Here's Whitfield right up the middle of the field, and he takes it across down to the Mercyhurst 40-yard line. A pickup of 13 on the run.
Yeah, don't count out Gannon just left. They're counter-punching right now, back inside Mercyhurst territory for a first down as the third quarter winds its way down. The Knights, by the way, one thing I asked both coaches when we had a chance to talk to them was, are they worried, whether you win or lose this game, about the fact that you have the rest of the season to play? This is an emotional first game, big crowd, so on and so forth, and both of them said yes. In Gannon's case, especially with Grand Valley State, but you know, if you're Mercyhurst and let's say you win tonight, it doesn't get any easier next week.
Here's Whitfield dancing around, tossed down the field, and the pass is complete down inside the 25-yard line. A penalty flag down on the field.
Whitfield was really cracked just after he got the football off. Now, I don't think that was the penalty, because it looked like a hit. The penalty actually came after the ball was caught downfield, but it came back at the line of scrimmage. So I don't know whether it's a holding penalty.
They will wave the flag off. An 18-yard completion approximately to get them down to the 22-yard line of Mercyhurst.
So here comes Gannon. You know, just when I said that Mercyhurst's defensive adjustments were keeping them contained, Bill Elias and company have an answer for us. And it all starts with Whitfield, who really impressed in the way he threw that ball under pressure at him, because just as he was releasing it, he got cracked in the midsection pretty good.
And this drive has been based on Whitfield and his abilities. The run right up the middle 3 times. You see the pass on this play after dancing around in the backfield for a good 3 or 4 seconds. Shotgun, Whitfield, flip play off to Donati. He's got some room on the left. Now we'll bring it back off to the right and duck it back down at the line of scrimmage. Short gain, if any, on this play for Al Donati.
Yeah, good defensive work by Gannon. Bill Elias now in his 7th year. Hard to believe. 6th year. And you see the way he's improved. In 99, 1-9, 3-7, 5-4, 5-5, and then 9-1 last year. So they have been building towards this. And of course, Marty Schetzel in his 3rd year is now hoping that he's got a lot of the roster as his recruits now, and hoping that it'll pay off this year. But boy, it's no easy piece of cake in the GLIAC, that's for sure.
22 seconds to go in the third. Shotgun, sidecar on either side, twins to the near side. Here is the give. And it's Donati in the backfield, taken down again at the line of scrimmage. This will bring up 3rd down and long for the Knights, but I believe that will be the last play here of this third quarter, as Donati taken down right around the 21-yard line. And Gannon will let the clock run out. Brings up a 3rd down and 10 when we start the final frame. Mercyhurst 34, Gannon 20 with 15 to go here on the Image Sports and Entertainment Network, Erie's leader for live local sports. Adam Marco, Gary Drapshow back at Mercyhurst College. A historic night here as we head into the final 15 minutes of play. Mercyhurst 34, Gannon 20. Historic for a number of reasons. As you check out the Laker cheerleaders, they're around as much as the Mercyhurst student body, not around for this ball game just yet. First night game, first Gannon game in the GLIAC, first matchup again between Mercyhurst and Gannon as Division II scholarship teams. First time Gannon sees GLIAC opposition as an actual conference member, not to mention first time they played since 1997.
And it has been as entertaining as we have anticipated. And nobody's left. It's still a big crowd. Both stands are packed full. You got people up on the bleachers, or people up on the hill, and people surrounding the fence here. And they're not seeing the game for free because everybody got in free tonight. So they're not, I don't know what they're going to do if they can stand on that fence over there and just watch it for free, or up on the hill and watch it for free. Great night of football. Glad you could join us here on the Image Sports Network for it.
Absolutely, and glad the weather hold off a little precarious throughout the course of the day. Whitfield in the shotgun, dropping back on 3rd down and 11. Forced to drop back and pass off to Donaldi. Donaldi knocked down at the 20-yard line. A pickup of only 2 yards. 3 straight plays to Al Donati, and he can't get anywhere thanks to that Laker defensive front 7 really stepping things up.
And a bad decision by Donaldi because his offensive linemen were set up on that middle screen and in the center of the field, as it is said, middle screen, and he kind of tried to cut it back to the outside. There was nobody there to block for him.
Timeout taken by the Golden Knights here with 14:37 to go in the 4th. They are down to 1 timeout left and contemplating that field goal. When we come back, Mercyhurst 34, Gannon 20 on the Conway O'Malley Goodyear scoreboard with the Image Sports Network, Erie's leader for live local sports. They are down to 1 timeout left and contemplating that field goal. When we come back, Mercyhurst 34, Gannon 20 on the Conway O'Malley Goodyear scoreboard with the Image Sports Network, Erie's leader for live local sports. Gannon comes back out with a 4th down and 9 in front of them. Don't forget CFL football coming up tomorrow night. Calgary at Hamilton, a 7:30 start on the America One Network. And of course, CFL Sunday afternoon, Ottawa against Edmonton. And a week from tomorrow night, high school football kicks off in Northwest PA. We've got Grove City at Harbor Creek on the first game of the 2004-2005 Image Sports schedule. Gannon will go for it, trips to the near side, single back, set. Here's Whitfield rolling out, pressure coming on from Sheridan, pass down the field, incomplete, intended for Wes Whiteside.
No, did he get it off the deflection? He caught it off the deflection. Can you believe that?
Unbelievable.
Number 3 for Gannon, caught it off the deflection. What a turn of events here. Instead of giving the ball to Mercyhurst, it goes off of one receiver's hands and right into another.
Wow.
And what a way to start the 4th quarter with Gannon down 14. They get a big break, and they're still in this football game with a 1st and goal at the 7-yard line.
Saw that ball carry him away, and it's actually a 13-yard gain. I formation. Only the 4th time tonight Whitfield has been under center. Rolling out to his right, looking to pass back across, his body wide open, and Shea D'Ambrosio, the tight end, all alone for the touchdown.
And only Darmel Whitfield can make that play happen. Rolling to his right and then throwing all the way back across the field from the other hash marks to the tight end D'Ambrosio at the goal line and wide open. Nice play by Gannon. They're right back in it, Adam, because we're just a few seconds, a minute or so into this fourth quarter, and they're now back to within 8, and Nicholas is going to try to make it 7 here with the extra point.
Perfect on the evening, both field goals and extra points, including that 48-yarder to end the first half. Cut it down to a 1-point lead. The snap is low, hold is up, kick is a rocket, and it is good. 34-27, just like that. Gannon back in it by 7, 14:08 to go here in the ball game. Back after this on the Image Sports Network, Erie's leader for live local sports. Back at Tullio Field, and the fans for both schools playing a little game of who's louder than who. The Gannon sideline getting their crowd into it. The Mercyhurst sideline getting their crowd into it. Not sure about the hillside on the south end of this field. I'm not sure if that's, bipartisan or what, but nonetheless, everybody is pumped up. We are back within 7 points, 14 minutes to go in the ball game. That drive for the Golden Knights, 11 plays, 73 yards, 4:24 off the clock, capped off by a 7-yard touchdown pass to Shea D'Ambrosio, the tight end. McNicholas set to kick. Tullis back deep to return this one. Instead will be fielded for the Lakers by Marcus Patton. Patton trips his way through the middle of the pack at the 22-yard line and will be called down at the 29.
And nearly broke it. Gets through that pack, still on his feet. He's gone because he has some great speed. Gannon, last year on that 9-1 record, did win a couple of games in the fourth quarter using their defense. And now they're going to have to be called upon by head coach Bill Elias to suck it up defensively. And trailing by 7 with a lot of time left, 14 minutes remaining. But they can play defense. They have played defense on the road when they won down at Slippery Rock last year, which was really a marked win in their tenure under Bill Elias.
Here's Nowling under center, gives it off to Andrew Grant. Only his third carry of the game, fourth carry of the game. He'll take it back to the 30-yard line, a pickup of 1. And the Gannon defense trying to get everybody on their side into this game again.
Number 11 was at the bottom of the pile, Dan Tomko.
2-yard gain actually for Andrew Grant on the play. Justin Adams will come in. Campbell comes out.
Let's see how Marty Schetzel plays this, whether obviously you don't think he's going to get conservative. If he's still led by 14 points at this point, he may do so, but he only leads by 7 with 13.5 minutes to go.
Grant stays in the game. He's actually a receiver on the near side. 3-step drop. Nowling looking downfield. And the pass diving on the play. Calvin Kelly pulls it in for the Lakers at midfield.
That is a great individual effort. He had to fight with the defensive back on that side, which was Miller. And he sort of slanted on the inside of Miller and was able to make the catch on his knees on the turf at the 50-yard line. Great individual effort, and that's what you need at this point of the game.
Call it an 18-yard gain to get them to the Mercyhurst 49-yard line, but it's in between the 49 and 50. First down for the Lakers with 13 minutes to go here in the fourth. Nowling dropping back, hands it off to Adams. Adams out of the backfield, gets to the 50 as he was met in the backfield very early by number 51, Paul Harness. Gets past Harness, spins his way, falls onto the backside, and gets to the 50 for a 1-yard gain.
Yeah, and Harness really came flying up there to make that hit. This Gannon defense, which was, as we mentioned before, is not an exceptionally big defense, even on the D line, but they are fast, and their linebackers are the key. And that time, he came flying in to hit Justin Adams for just about a gain of a half a yard near midfield.
Nowling in the game thus far has passed for 354 yards unofficially. Sends Grant in motion out of the backfield, twins to the left. Adams the lone setback. Pressure coming. Adams picks up that pressure. Pass across the field. Caught by Field. Inside the Gannon 40, right over top of the defender Kevin Scott. And the ball is down at the 37-yard line. A pickup of 13.
I don't think you can cover better than Kevin Scott did that time. The only advantage that the receiver had was that he was a lot bigger than Kevin Scott. But Scott again tried to cut in front as he did on that one big pass play earlier in the game when he tries to cut in front and take a chance of knocking it down. And that time, just a great catch with some good defensive coverage to boot.
12 minutes to go in the ball game. Mercyhurst 34, Gannon 27, I formation. Campbell, then Adams, the setbacks. Calvin Kelly, the man in motion. And it's a give to Adams on the misdirection play. Gets across the 35-yard line down there, the 32. Excuse me, call it a gain of 5 on the play for Justin Adams.
Now this is when you ask your offensive line to suck it up and start making some holes. One thing a play like that will do is take some time off the clock as well. We're going to start talking about that because obviously a 7-point game, 34-27. The later we get into this quarter, each play becomes bigger and bigger in terms of the possession that you have. Now the clock will be stopped. And the officials want to talk about something, Adam.
Gain on the play, 5 yards. Nowling will come to the near sideline and is keeping track of his numbers. That completion to Thiel puts him at about 367 in this ball game. And you talk about coming in as a sophomore. They'll add 5 seconds onto the clock here. Take it back to 11 minutes, 29 seconds. Coming in as a sophomore, passed for about 1,700 yards during his freshman season, 8 touchdowns, more interceptions than touchdowns. Well, right now I believe it's 1-1 for Nowling, thanks to Justin Adams taking it in 3 times on the ground, but 367, not a bad evening for your first game.
Not a bad evening whatsoever. And he has looked sharp, not only in just the way he's thrown the ball, but just the way he's handled himself and handled this Mercyhurst offense. He is in control.
Nowling's on the option play off of Adams' hands. He fields it off one bounce, and he's tackled from underneath. Tackle made by number 24, Eugene Paget. Adams gets the benefit of a random bounce there as it comes directly back into his hands and is able to pick up the first down.
Yeah, I don't think that was the kind of play they work on in practice, but Gannon got a break down at this last end when they scored their touchdown when a pass was deflected off one receiver's hands on the ground and into another. And now Justin Adams gets that perfect hop right off the turf, right into his hands, and picks up a first down in the process.
First and 10, Mercyhurst.
About a 6-7 yard gain for Justin Adams. First and 10 from the 22. Single back set, twins to the left. Motion on the D line. No flags. Here's Adams again.
Into the middle of the line.
Across the 20-yard line and takes it down right around the 17 for a pickup of 4, maybe 5 yards on the play.
Yeah, that was just a straight off tackle play. Nothing fancy about that, but yet they got 4 or 5 yards, as you mentioned, downfield. That was just some great work by the right side of that offensive line by Mercyhurst. So right now they're kind of winning this battle of attrition late in the game, 10:45 remaining. They lead by 7, and they're trying to increase that lead.
3 straight runs for Justin Adams of 5, 7, and 5 yards. And those are his biggest carries of the night for the Lakers during the first half. He only had, 16 yards to his credit, as Mercyhurst had 20 yards rushing in the half. Nowling, I formation behind him, fake the handoff, looking for Thiel across the middle of the field, and 2 men on. The big tight end for the Lakers. Pass falls incomplete at the 11.
Dowling was also jacked from behind right after he let go of that ball. Had he held on to it another second or two, he would have been sacked and maybe lost the ball because it was a blindside hit to his back. But he jumped up okay. The pass was incomplete. And we've got third down coming up here. And about 5 yards to go, Adam?
Kevin Campbell comes out, 5 yards to go. Dan Schuler checks in for the first time, one of the other Mercyhurst tight ends. They've got great depth at tight end this year between Jeff Thiel and then their 2 backups. Dan Schuler, the younger brother of Jim, getting more playing time in this 2 tight end set. Single back. Here's Nowling, pressure coming from the backside, looking for the flare out, tipped up in the air, nearly picked off. Defensive pressure on the play by linebacker Rich Lee, a 6'6" freshman from Slippery Rock High School, played down in Prospect, PA.
5 yards to go.
And this will bring up a 4th down and 5 after the second straight incompletion from Nowling.
And it looks like we may have another field goal attempt on the way, which would increase that 7-point lead and make it a 9-point lead and a 2-score lead for Mercyhurst. But a good job by Gannon as the Mercyhurst appear to be building some momentum, putting together a drive that would result in a touchdown, but now they're forcing this Scanlon attempted field goal.
34-yard attempt, ball spotted down on the 24. That's at least where Thiel's hold will be. Scanlon 0 for 1 on the evening for field goals. Kick is up and on the way, curving towards that left upright, and it is good.
Big kick for Scanlon, increases the lead to 37-27.
Take a timeout, Gannon gets it. When we come back on the Image Sports Network, Erie's leader for live local sports coverage. That scoring drive for Gannon goes 10 plays, covering 54 yards, capped off by a 34-yard field goal from Phil Scanlon, attributing for his 22-yard miss earlier in the game, and more importantly for Coach Schetzel and the Lakers, takes it back to a 10-point lead, back to double digits.
Yeah, a 2-score deficit now for Gannon. They got to score a touchdown and then either get a field goal to perhaps tie or a touchdown and 2-point conversion and field goal to put them in the lead. But they need 2 offensive possessions, and there's only 10:04 remaining. So now time starts to become a factor in terms of how quickly it would take Gannon to score. Because you figure they only have maybe 3, maybe 4 possessions left in the 10 minutes. We'll see what they do on this one, though. This is a big offensive series coming up for Gannon.
Keels and Donaldi back to return this kickoff. Keels takes it, gets across the 30-yard line. Check that, gets across the 25, down at the 30-yard line. Nice return for Ronald Keels. Return of about 22 yards.
Good special teams for Mercyhurst covering on the play, not allowing Gannon to get too good field position to start this drive. Of course, Mercyhurst has already returned a punt for a touchdown. They also have a field goal to their credit.
From the 29-yard line.
And so it has been a good day, relatively speaking, for Gannon, or for Mercyhurst. They didn't miss a field goal on special teams and missed an extra point as well. But they have the 10-point lead.
Here's Whitfield dropping back to pass, has plenty of time, now pressure coming on, toss across the field, intended for Dance, and that's the first time we've seen Tim Dance since midpoint of that third quarter and that kickoff debacle. He's back on the field, and he's flanked out wide to the right side. Ambrosio will check out. Good Bertlet comes back in, so it's Dance and Good Bertlet on the right. Whiteside and number 5, Vince Austin, the senior from Buffalo, New York, on the left. Bailey in as the sidecar in the shotgun to the right. 9:50 to go after that incomplete pass. Here's Whitfield down the field, and this one incomplete. Simon Arias giving a good jump for it, but Arias standing at 5'8". That one well out of his range.
Yeah, but he looked good jumping for it, no question about that. But the last 2 plays, Mercyhurst defensive secondary has been very good. They have not given Darnell Whitfield. He's had to look off his primary receiver, go to a second or third receiver, and has been incomplete on both attempts. Not much pressure on him because they've played well in that secondary, holding their ground and covering the receivers.
If the Knights can sustain this drive, I like what they did earlier after they were down 14. That first drive afterwards, it was all Whitfield. A lot of run. They relied on him especially. Gannon's trying to open it up passing-wise here, but I'd like to see him run a little more. Pass down the field, and this one will fall incomplete, intended for Dance. And this will force a punt by Gannon. Should they come out, the defense holds strong. You're not out of this game by any means. It's only 10 points. You still have some time to do that in. Maybe only 1 timeout to your credit. That's a problem right now. But you have enough time at this moment to run a little bit more. I'd like to see Whitfield use those legs.
Absolutely, yeah. It surprises me that he just kind of stood back in the pocket and tried to throw. That's not Darnell Whitfield. Whitfield is moving around. Whitfield is causing the defense chaos. That is what Darnell Whitfield does best. So those first 2 plays, he just got the snap, had a shotgun, stood back, and tried to throw it.
Carlos Carthenez with the punt. Bloomley standing at the 30-yard line will fair catch it at the 32 where the Lakers offense sets up shop. 10-point lead for Mercyhurst. Back after this on the Image Sports Network, Erie's leader for live local sports. There's a holding penalty on the return for the Lakers. That'll knock them back a few yards. It was going to be spotted at the 32. Mercyhurst will have a first down. Don't forget, mention high school football coming up next Friday night, September 3rd, as Grove City takes on Harbor Creek. That is a 7 o'clock start here on the Image Sports Network. Then we've got Girard taking on Harbor Creek on the 10th. Northeast at Girard on the 17th. And on the 24th, big early game this season, Cathedral Prep takes on McDowell down at the stadium.
Oh, great lineup on Image Sports as always. It'll go through October. I think you got McLean in Prep and McLean and Vincent on that schedule as well. Some Mercyhurst College games on Saturday afternoon. So once again, Image Sports coming through with some great live local sports coverage. Just love it.
Next Mercyhurst game is on the 25th of September as Ferris State comes to town. Here's the toss to Grant out of the backfield, and that is all the further he will get. Caught in the backfield and taken down for a loss on the play.
And I'm sure Grant was told, listen, whatever you do, don't go out of bounds. Keep the clock running, and although we lost 3 or 4 yards on the play, he stayed in bounds, allowing Mercyhurst to eat up some clock. Gannon will need 2 possessions here and 2 scores, and we're down just about to the 9-minute mark remaining here in the 4th and final quarter, down by 10.
Grant comes up with a slight limp. He's out. Adams comes back in a 2nd and 14. 9 minutes on a running clock for the Lakers. 10-point lead. Nowling under center. 2-back set. Receivers on either side with Tullis on the near side. Man in motion is Zangaro out of the backfield. Here's Nowling looking to pass. Across the middle to Thiel. Thiel complete at the 25, across the 30, and down at the 33-yard line, and a pickup of 15 on the play.
Yeah, Tullis just flushed everybody out. Zangaro came out into the flats. They've hit him a few times. This time Nowling went for the big tight end, who was slicing from the opposite side. He had lined up on the left side of the line, came right across the middle, and once Tullis flushed him out over the middle, and then Zagara came out and head to the sidelines. That area there by the numerals on the field was wide open. And a great pass by Nowling. I mean, he's thrown a couple of bad passes. I mean, he's not perfect, obviously, but he has thrown a lot of good passes here tonight.
You look at the Lakers running backs they've got this season. Kevin Campbell, the fullback, the big guy on the team at 220. They have a lot of what you would call scat backs, a lot of thinner, quicker players. 2 of them in there right now in Zangaro and Adams, who gets the toss. Off tackle to the left side, and he takes it out to the 38-yard line, a pickup of 5 on the play.
Gannon has to come right back, as you've mentioned before, hosting two-time defending national champs and preseason #1, Grand Valley State. They'll then host Ashland the following Saturday, September the 11th. So at least, although they face Grand Valley State, at least if they should not come back and win this game, their next 2 games are at home. And they'll try to do something with Grand Valley State and Ashland. But how about Grand Valley State being preseason #1, Saginaw Valley, who handed them their only loss in the GLIAC last year, is ranked 3rd in the country. It is not an easy conference by any stretch of the imagination.
A lot of critics consider it to be one of the best Division II college conferences in the nation. Of course, just south of here, we have one of the best Division II colleges playing right now. Check that. In Edinburgh, doing very, very well.
Oh, absolutely. They're going to have a great season, too. Preseason ranked, depending on which poll you believe, about 20 to 25th in the country. Defending co-PSAC champs. A lot of great players down. It should be a fun college football season again. We had Allegheny, your stomping grounds. They won the NCAC last year, and they're coming back to defend that this year. So it should be another great year of college football locally.
3rd down and 1 for the Lakers. I formation. Here's the give to Adams out of the backfield, and he will get near the line of scrimmage. Needed to pick up an additional yard. The spot on the near side does not give him that additional yard.
I don't think he got it.
And it looks to be about 3/4 of a yard short.
We're simply going to, but the most important thing after they spot the football is that we're counting down 6:35 and counting. They've run up about 3 minutes off the clock already. And if they pick up this first down, that's probably another couple of more minutes. And Gannon, as you mentioned, only has 1 timeout left, so they can't stop.
And this is a 4th down and 1 the Lakers going for on their own side of the field. Schetzel thinks his team can grind it past. Is it a Nowling keeper? Is it a Kevin Campbell run? Is it Justin Adams again? Long, hard snap count. Trying to draw them off sides. And now a penalty flag will fall as Mercyhurst lets the play clock expire. Lakers maybe just crying wolf there, not that they were going to go for the first down, just to see if they could get the offside.
Absolutely, that's the only thing that they had in mind right there, but I was hoping he'd go for it. I was hoping they would go for it, because if he makes the first down, obviously the game's just about over. You know, I mean, there's still time left, 6:08, but if he makes the first down, they run a few more plays, get it down to, even if they don't make another first down, they give it back to Gannon with about 4 minutes to play, and as I mentioned, they're down 10, so Gannon would need 2 possessions to either tie or take the lead.
Schuler back to punt for the 5th time here tonight. Sam Colberth Jr. standing at his own 23-yard line. 6:08 to go in the game. Good snap, good kick. Schuler nearly taken out on the play. Colberth Jr. will fair catch it at the 32-yard line. Gannon will take over on offense, trailing by 10 with 6 minutes to go. Back after this on the Image Sports Network, Erie's leader in live local sports. And a penalty after the fact will move Gannon right by midfield out to the 47-yard line of the Lakers.
That's a big break.
That it is. For Gannon fans right now, you're thinking about a comeback, 37-27, your team trailing by 10. The only victory, September 19th, 1992, the Knights even the series with a come-from-behind 24-21 victory. Scored all 24 points in the first half, but still won the game all in the first half. Here's the toss play up the middle. Short gain on the play by Al Donati.
Of course, it's a hurry-up offense that Gannon runs from start to finish, so they don't have to revert to a hurry-up offense at this juncture of the game because they already got one going. But time is becoming a factor here, down to 5:40, and they trail by 10 near midfield.
Shotgun set, twins to either side with Austin and Whiteside on the near side. Colberth Jr., check that. Good Bertlet, and Dance who makes the catch down at the 30-yard line. What a gun from Whitfield.
Yeah, he can throw the football, no question about that, and that is the Tim Dance that we know and love. Nice catch, slanting over the middle, showing great hands, and putting Gannon down at about the 27, 28-yard line with a 1st and 10. Try to score quickly here and put some pressure on Mercyhurst offense then to make the first downs.
23-yard gain. Here's Whitfield, cuts it back into the line of scrimmage, gets across the 25-yard line, down to the 23 with 5:15 to go in the game.
Number 5.
Mercyhurst player down.
Gain of 4 on the run for Darmel Whitfield.
Official time.
Trying to get a number on that Laker down.
27 is Mike Cray. Played for Cathedral Prep.
And that looks to be the Mercyhurst Laker down on the field. The training staff will pick him up off the ground and
hopefully just got the wind knocked out of him, which he tackled Whitfield from behind, and I think when Whitfield went to the ground, he went hard.
And coming in for McCray will be number 97, Mike Bucky, 6'5" freshman from Madison, Ohio. See Bucky in the middle of your screen. Gannon offensive line coming back out. 5 minutes, 7 seconds to go in the ball game. A 10-point lead.
Down, 6 yards to go
for the Lakers.
24.
Twins to the near side with Danson, Goodbertlet. It's Whiteside and I believe Austin on the far side of the screen. Here's Whitfield passing across middle, tipped right in front of Wes Whiteside, and a great defensive play.
Jason Staley came up with that little tip as he streaked in front of the receiver and just got a hand in on the play. Nice play by Jason Staley.
Staley stays just a step behind. That's a touchdown from Whitfield, going to number 10, Wes Whiteside.
Third down, 6.
Bring up a 3rd down and 6 situation here for the Knights. Under 5 to go in the ball game, trailing by 10. Twins to the near side, this time with Austin and Whiteside. Dance, the lone receiver, set out to the right. Fake the handoff. Here's Whitfield off to his tight end, Shady Ambrosio, and he is knocked down in between the sticks. Short pickup on the play, only about 2 yards.
So 4th down. Let's see. Do you take the 3 points now, put McNicholas in there to kick the 3 points and hope you get the ball back? Or do you go for it here on 4th down? And it looks like they're going to send McNicholas in to get the 3 points right now and not waste this possession, because they may only get the ball one other time in the game. And so they have to get something out of this drive. 4th down and 4 or 5 maybe is a little bit too long in the estimation of Bill Elias to go for it. So he's going to take what should be a sure thing of about 39 yards from McNicholas, because he is one of the better kickers in Division II, Adam.
And they will reset the clock this time, add another 5 seconds on, as they did, I believe, earlier in this quarter.
Who's the clock operator up here? We'll have to talk to him about that.
He's obviously a Mercyhurst,
yes.
big Mercyhurst fan. They'll add 5 seconds on.
39-yard field goal attempt.
39-yard attempt upcoming here. McNicholas is 2 for 2 on the day, has hit from 32 and 48. Kick is up, and it is good.
It is good.
39-yard field goal.
Yeah, McNicholas pounding one through, and we still have ourselves a game.
37.
4:15 to go as you check out the Conway O'Malley Goodyear scoreboard. Mercyhurst 37, Gannon 30. Back after this on the Image Sports Network, Erie's leader for live local sports. That scoring drive for the Gannon Golden Knights goes 31 yards on 6 plays, a minute 37 off the clock. A 39-yard field goal by Brandon McNicholas brings us back to a 7.1 possession game. Now McNicholas will kick off to the Lakers, back deep for Mercyhurst as they're showing onside.
Sorry, Adam.
Not a problem.
Show what Gannon has defensively now. They're going to be asked to stop Mercyhurst and stop them cold.
And they don't take the onside kick. They will put it back through the end zone for a touchback, as Mercyhurst had the hands team on just in case. And Mercyhurst will start it out at the 20-yard line with 4:15 to go. Last drive for the Lakers, we saw a healthy dose of Justin Adams and Andrew Grant. Are you seeing the same thing this time around?
Well, they got to take some time off the clock. They can't afford to have Nowling try to get too cute with passes to avoid a turnover like an interception. They only lead by 7 now. So I think you keep it on the ground, you keep it pretty conservative, but at the same time, you've got to be effective. You've got to move the sticks, or else you're going to be giving the ball back to Gannon with still a lot of time left on the clock. So let's see what Marty Schetzel does here with his offensive scheme on this possession.
Lakers show run, toss play to Adams out of the backfield across the line of scrimmage. Maybe a pickup of 1 on the play, and if the Lakers can't get yards, and if the Gannon defense holds up, maybe on a 3rd down situation, we go back to that little flare-out pass to Zangaro, because that's at least a safe pass, not putting too much pressure on Nowling.
Yeah, and it has worked nearly every time they have done it. I'm sure Schetzel has that in the back of his mind as well.
For the Gannon defense, They've been running around chasing Mercyhurst for 37 points. Now would be their perfect time to get back into this game and step it up and stop them. Nowling under center, I formation, 2nd down and 9. Fake the give to Adams. Nowling spinning around, pressure coming, and he is taken down in the backfield, and a huge loss on the play as Nowling is dropped back near the 12-yard line.
Yeah, Kevin Scott was one of the players back there on the blitz by Gannon, and a great play by Gannon's defense, immediately putting the pressure on Nowling and immediately sacking him. So now this all of a sudden Gannon is in pretty good position here. 3rd down, what, about 17, 18 yards to go? And then not only that, but Mercyhurst now is backed up inside the 15-yard line. If they're forced to punt from here, Gannon's going to get good field position.
Do believe that is the 4th sack of the game for the Golden Knights. 7-point lead as we are under 3 minutes to go. Twins to the left, single setback. Here's Nowling rolling out and passing for Thiel. This falls incomplete, and it will bring up a punt, so the Gannon defense holds strong, knocks him back, and will get great field position here for the offense.
Absolutely. So Gannon did what they had to do, like you said, although they've been running all over the place chasing Nowling and company for 37 points here in the football game. They made a big stop when they had to, and we mentioned this. Gannon did that last year on the road when they beat Slippery Rock, and maybe they've done it here tonight. It allows them at least a chance to tie this game. They're down by 7 with 2:46 to go.
Good Bertlett standing back at his own 45-yard line. Schuler from his own end zone. Here is the kick. This one not one of Schuler's best. It'll bounce at the 40 and take a Mercyhurst roll, and continues to roll before the Lakers down it right around the Gannon 49-yard line as they wait a little bit longer before they down it, just to let a few more seconds tick off. Gannon has a chance to tie this one up when we come back. 37-30 Mercyhurst with the lead on the Image Sports Network, Erie's leader for live local sports. First down pass from Whitfield intended for Good Bertlett falls incomplete, nowhere in the vicinity of the intended receiver. And you notice on that play, Good Bertlett in there. We haven't seen Sam Coltberth Jr. in the lineup for nearly about 15 minutes. Didn't see him go out with an injury. The last thing we saw from him was a pass go through his hands on the far sideline. 2:25 to go. Clock is stopped. Trips to the right, Twins to the left. And Whitfield avoids one tackle. Now running around in the backfield across the 50. And down across the 40-yard line, a pickup of 11 yards on the play and a first down for the Knights.
And that is a simple play that you just spread out your offense. You mentioned trips right, Twins left. You spread everybody out in the line of scrimmage. Everybody goes downfield except the lineman, of course. And then you just let Darmel Whitfield do something with the football. And he's like a magician out there. He was able to pick up 15 yards, 10 yards, get a first down.
7-point lead for the Lakers. Now on defense, Gannon in the Mercyhurst zone. Shotgun set, Twins to either side. Fake the handoff. Whitfield across the middle. Pass intended for Dance. This one too high. And if he brings it in, he's going to be leveled by 3 Lakers. And as you look down on the field, an injured Laker just a few moments ago, Mike Crave, back in the game for Mercyhurst.
Yeah, he was checked out. Good to see the Cathedral Prep grad back down on the field as a second down play from the 40-yard line. I would rather have Darmel Whitfield do it with his legs than his arm. I mean, obviously he's going to have to use his arm at some point in this drive, but he is so dangerous when he has the football and he's running in the open field.
2 minutes to go exactly in the ballgame. Second down, 10. Whitfield sets up shop on the, call it 40-yard line. Screen pass out into the flats. And it is complete to Bailey across the 30, down to the 25, tripped up at the 25, and will roll down to the 24-yard line for a pickup of 15 yards on the completion.
And that is the other factor in this Gannon offense, is Ron Bailey had over 800 yards rushing, one of Darmel Whitfield's favorite receivers, and he has just given them a first down, kind of a wide handoff.
1:45 to go in the game. Here's Whitfield keeping himself across the 20, down to the 15, and down near the 10-yard line before he's taken down. A pickup of almost 13. You say do it with his legs. He has to do it with his arms at some point. He does it both, 2 consecutive plays.
Yeah, he is such a dangerous offensive weapon for Gannon. When you're on the defensive side of the football, you've got to know where he is at all times. Obviously, he's going to get the snap, but you've got to be cognizant of the kind of things he can do when he gets the football off the snap.
Got to wonder about his rushing yards on the night. Was nearly at 100 at halftime, and now a timeout taken on the field and this one will be called by the Lakers. That will be their first one. Whitfield had nearly 100 yards at the half. I'd put him at nearly about 150, 160 at this point.
He's amazing. Of course, last year he went over the all-time total yard offensive leader career-wise.
As you see on our camera right now, Mike Ruzzi, and to his left, Craig Woodard, the aforementioned.
Hey, there we go, Woody.
He's not in Katanning tonight. He's up here to check out Mercyhurst Gannon.
Oh, you knew that Woody would come back to check out this game. He wishes he probably had some pads on and a helmet and stuff. No question about that. He wants to get out there and play. I know Woody.
Absolutely.
He'd love to play.
He's Mercyhurst's career leading rusher as he gained 2,315 yards on 475-yard attempts, put in 17 touchdowns, had a long run of 94 yards. And you look at Craig Woodard right now, 94 yards in a run. You got to be tired after that. I'm tired just thinking about it.
Oh, he was good. Hey, by the way, Mercyhurst last year won against Northern Michigan, won against Ashland, won against Indianapolis, and won against Wayne State. So 4 of their wins were at home here against a GLIAC team. So they know how to win here at home. That's the point of this. And they know how to hold on to some wins. Some of those were close games as well, like Ashland was 17-10, 27-24, 17-10. They've been involved in some close GLIAC games here on the home surface at Tulio Field.
Buck 35 left in the game. Spread formation again, single, setback, and that only person in the backfield is Whitfield, as he has 6 on the line. He'll keep it himself. Up the middle of the field, tackled down at the 7-yard line.
Gannon only has 1 timeout left.
29 brings him down.
And they can get another first down, I believe, Adam, around the 1.5, just inside the 2-yard line. So they do not need to score here on this possession, or on this series of downs, I should say.
And we'll get 1 shot after that, but at that point you're so close. I'm sure Coach Elias would just love to get it in. 2nd down, 6 from the 7. Toss play to Bailey, airborne into the end zone. Touchdown, getting Golden Knights.
What a comeback for Gannon. Down by 10 midway in the 4th quarter. They drive it down the field. McNicholas kicks a 39-yard field goal. They get it right back. They force Mercyhurst 3 and out. They get it back in midfield and then go down the field and score on the little toss to Bailey, who takes it in. And we are an extra point away from McNicholas of tying this game up with exactly 60 seconds to play.
Mercyhurst at one point led this game by 14, the biggest lead of the night for either team. Gannon's biggest lead was, I believe, at 3 points before Mercyhurst answered back. Can we tie it at 7:37? Yes, we can. McNicholas puts it through. He's perfect on the night. 37 all with exactly 60 seconds to go, and Mercyhurst getting the ball. Check out the Conway O'Malley Goodyear scoreboard at Tulio Field. Back after this on the Image Sports Network. Erie's leader for live local sports. Adam Marco, Gary Drapshow back at Mercyhurst College. We are tied with exactly 1 minute to go in this game. Unbelievable right now, 37 all.
Yeah, it's exactly what people thought it would be. You hoped it would turn out the way people thought. Some of these games turn into rather boring affairs. There's a lot of pregame hype, and they end up, like a lot of Super Bowls, they end up being pretty boring and one-sided, but not tonight. Mercyhurst led by as many as 14 here in the second half. Gannon has come back to tie it up with a minute to play, and here we go.
Here's the kick, and this is a deep one. It will be fielded by the Lakers and taken back for a touchback. Mercyhurst doesn't take any time off the clock on that. They've got 60 seconds to go 80 yards.
And Gannon, by the way, has come back to tie this game up, overcoming that big mistake by Tim Dance. Mercyhurst had just scored. They were up by 7. They missed the extra pointer. They would have been up by 8. They were up by 7. Dance fumbled it into the end zone, decided to pick it up about 8 yards deep in the end zone, tried to take it out. He was tackled at the 10. He fumbled it. Mercyhurst recovered at about the 7-yard line. A couple of plays later, scored to make it a 14-point game. And Gannon has come back despite overcoming that mistake. A big mistake on special teams.
Here's Nowling under center, dropping back to pass, throws a flare out to Adams out of the backfield, and he will not make it back to the 20-yard line as he's dropped down at the 19.
And a great play by the Knights' Dan Tomko as he was able to break through the attempted block by the Mercyhurst offensive lineman on that screen play and drop him down. And now I don't know, they're just going to play. Yeah, they're going to leave the clock out. They're playing for overtime here. They just don't want to make a mistake deep in their own territory, give Gannon a chance with the kind of leg that McNicholas's have of giving them a chance at a winning field goal. They're just going to let the clock run out here and take their chances in overtime, Adam.
7 seconds left on the play clock. 16 in the game. Trips to the left. Here is the give to Adams. He'll get it back into the line of scrimmage and be taken down at the 21. 5 seconds.
We're going OT.
4 seconds, and how fitting, the first game back, first game under lights, first night game here at Mercyhurst College. We're going to take it deeper into the night. Overtime we go.
We go to overtime.
And that 2-yard gain for Adams to finish off regulation here. Mercyhurst 37, Gannon 37. Unbelievable. We'll get you ready for overtime when we come back here on the Image Sports Network, tied at 37 with Mercyhurst and Gannon on Erie's leader for live local sports. Adam Marco, Gary Drapshow back at Mercyhurst College. Started this game back at 7:30. We are now tied at 37 all, as Mercyhurst and Gannon will go to overtime to decide the first game of this 2004 GLIAC football season. Gannon, welcome to the conference. Your first game is against your biggest rival, and you're going to overtime to finish it off.
Yeah, the fans are getting their money's worth, and I don't think anybody's left. They're still packed up on the hill and around the fence, and both stands are packed as well. I'm just trying to kind of go through here and get some overtime. I don't know if the last time either Gannon or Mercyhurst went into overtime, but that's what I'm trying to figure out here. Maybe John Leisner knows for sure, but...
Well, right now we have the coaches at midfield, as opposed to the captains not out there yet, as Bill Elias and Marty Schetzel talking over the rules of this overtime period. Coming up next Friday night, give you this chance right now that we've got high school football starting up as Grove City travels up to Harbor Creek for our first high school football broadcast of the season. And here for Gannon, 0-1 in overtime games all time. They've only played one game, a 10-7 decision to Bowie State in 1997. Mercyhurst, not as easy to find that one. I knew that one, where that was on the Gannon stat page from Dan Teleski and the Sports Information Department.
This guy's doing a great job, yes. We'll try to find something in here, I guess.
But
regardless, it does not happen very often.
Coach is still talking this out.
Obviously, neither team, when they have played each other, have ever gone to overtime.
Albeit they did tie once. There's no indication of the overtime on that, as they finished off to a 13-13 tie. That one was the one played in the virtual downpour that many people might have expected here tonight.
Right. I think we did that game on TV, as a matter of fact, back on Channel 35 on November the 5th, 1994, yes. And I think a field goal was missed late in that game that would have won the game for Gannon. But they're being explained the situation. Going back to the high school schedule, the realignment obviously puts a new spin on things, and it obviously makes things a little interesting. You hear a lot about some complaints about some of the rivalries that have been disintegrated because of this new realignment. But I think some new rivalries, some better rivalries are going to develop, and I think it just gives a better quality. This has been long overdue. A lot of people have praised District 10 for doing this, and rightly so, but they should have done it about 10 years ago when the state, 10, 15 years ago when the state playoffs first started, because about 20 years ago they didn't have state playoffs. It ended right after District 10. You know, the championship game. I think when the state playoffs came around, maybe that's when they should have thought about realignment, because year in and year out, we always had the controversies about how many teams are going to get in, who is going to be represented, league representation, at-large berth. This kind of put ends to that. The realignment, the best teams who play in those regions get into the playoffs period.
And one of the things that high school football is thinking about adopting, along with the pros thinking about adopting, is overtime style. More certainly in the pros going to a college style. What we're going to see here is both teams will start at the 25-yard line, go out for a coin toss. Whoever wins, they'll get the decision if they want offense or defense first. Say Mercyhurst loses the toss, Gannon wants to go on offense first, put the pressure on the Mercyhurst offense. You'll get 4 downs, and it's basically like starting at the 25-yard line. You get 4 downs to start, you get to the 15, you get another 10,
get a first down,
you work your way in. It's just you have at least those 4 chances to score. Say you don't move the ball in the first 3 plays, you kick that field goal to at least get the 3 points up. And for Gannon, you know that's a great option right now with Brandon McNicholas. What, a 42-yarder? He kicked a 48 earlier.
Right. Yeah, they definitely have, I don't want to say they have an edge because Scanlon's a pretty good kicker. I think distance-wise they have an edge, but Scanlon can certainly boot him through. And you have to wonder at this point where the momentum is going. Mercyhurst had a 14-point lead. They had as much as a 10-point lead with about, 6.5 minutes to play in the game. And now all of a sudden they saw that lead totally be dissolved, and they've got to win it now. They thought they probably had this game won. Now they've got to do it again, both offensively and defensively.
Gannon only sends 1 captain out for the overtime coin toss.
And chose to go on defense. He will serve the 25-yard line. Mercyhurst ball, first and 10.
Mercyhurst will have the ball to start us in overtime. Some final numbers from the regular time of this game. Darmel Whitfield, 20 carries for 148 yards, the leading rusher, of course, for either team, and threw for 292 yards, 23 of 41, 2 picks, 2 touchdowns. Jeff Nowling, 23 of 35 for 382 yards, 1 touchdown. The leading rusher was Justin Adams, and what a second half he had. He got the ball a lot, 26 carries, 65 yards, and you throw in his 3 touchdowns on offense that got Mercyhurst to this 37-point score. Receiving numbers for Gannon: Ian Goodbertlet, 6 catches, 54 yards. Sam Culberth, 4 catches, 29 yards. Ron Bailey, 3 catches, 86 yards. Tim Dance, 3 and 39 for the receivers for the Lakers. Brandon Zangaro, 6 for 83. John Egbert, 4 for 88. Thiel, 4 for 56. Justin Adams, 4 of 19. Here's Nowling rolling out, pressure coming on, and he is taken down, loses the ball. And who has it? Gannon says they have it. And it is Gannon ball.
So Mercyhurst offensive series is over, and now Gannon will start out at the 25-yard line. And as you mentioned, with the way McNicholas is able to kick the football, all they've got to do is pretty much get him into field goal range. Gannon will get to choose which side they want, and I'm surprised they're choosing this side only because of the fact the wind would be blowing in their face. There's not much of a wind right now as it was earlier in the game. Things have kind of settled down. As a matter of fact, the flag is hardly fluttering at all, so wind really just a non-factor here. But what a play by Gannon defensively. They were asked to, the Gannon defense was kind of asked to take control of this game for Gannon in the last half if they were going to have the chance to come back, and they did that.
For the Knights here, what they're going to try to do, now that they've got the opportunity, all they need to do is kick the field goal to win. Possibility that they do come out with McNicholas and kick it on first or second down. I'd expect to see them come out, see Whitfield run maybe 2 plays just to pick them up another 5 or 10 yards and then take a chance on 3rd down.
Right.
You don't want to go too far to have too many chances for mistakes, but
at least give yourself a little bit of pad room, you know, so that if there's a bad snap or something, it's not the end of the series.
Receivers on either side, and you're looking now at a 7-man front for the Golden Knights. Whitfield keeps it himself, breaks through the line, and just gets past the 25 before he's dropped down. Terrence Patrick, the initial pressure on the play. Whitfield scrambles past him and will drop it down near the 23-yard line for a pickup of about 2 on the carry.
Time obviously a non-factor here. The clock, the game clock, although the 25-second clock in terms of the huddles should still be running, and it is. So that you can still have a delay of game called against you, but the game clock has been turned off.
Gain of only 1 for Whitfield, 2nd down and 9. On the toss play to Bailey. Bailey met in the backfield, and he will be brought down, and that's what the Lakers defense needs to do, as this will bring up a 3rd down and now 11, as coming up to make the play, number 29, Brian Smith, knocks him back a couple yards. The Lakers need to move them backwards just to make that field goal attempt a little bit tougher on McNicholas.
Well, right now, let's see, the ball's spotted at the 25. You put him back about 7 yards, it would be like a 32-yard line, so about a 42-yard kick from this point.
And he was 2 for 2 last year in 40 to 50, 49-yard kicks.
Right.
He could be 2 for 2 on the first game of the season from that distance.
He may be asked to do that to win this game for Gannon.
Twins on either side. Offensive line falls down. Ball tipped up in the air, down in the end zone. and on the sideline, not to the end zone. The pass is caught. Wes Whiteside with a huge play down to the 3.
Got behind the defensive back, and Whitfield just floated it down the sidelines. He was not going to get the pass intercepted. And the guy was wide open behind him, too. Great catch, too, because he had to adjust to the ball in the air, keep his feet in bounds there on the far sideline. And the Gannon fans are smelling victory right now.
Takes it down to the 3-yard line. First and goal for the Gannon Golden Knights. Whiteside with 22 yards on the reception.
Now they've already put up the score on the scoreboard. Now they're correcting it.
We are in overtime here. Mercyhurst Gannon, the rivalry renewed on a Thursday night to kick off the football season. Overtime, 37-all. Gannon looking to punch this one in and take the victory home and really snap victory from the jaws of defeat. I formation, Bailey the deep setback. Don't forget the Knights were trailing by 14 at one point late in this game. Able to battle back. Here's Whitfield. He'll keep it, dance his way towards the end zone, dive down towards the end zone, spotted down at the 1.
Yeah, Whitfield tried to take it himself. Safe thing to do. There, you don't risk a fumble or bad handoff or anything like that. All you got to do is get the snap, try to get it in there. And Whitfield, of course, the leading rusher in this game. It'd only be appropriate that he would finish things off here for Gannon.
Takes it down now, 2nd and 1. Gannon just needs any kind of point to win this ball game. A fumble for Mercyhurst in their possession. And now a timeout called, and I believe it will be called by the Mercyhurst defense. Each team is allotted 1 timeout in the overtime period. Mercyhurst will burn theirs with their backs against the wall. 2nd down and 1 upcoming here for the Golden Knights. And what a comeback for Gannon. First game of the season, first GLIAC game. At one point we're up 17-14, trailed all the way until they tied this game up at 37.
They only had that 17-14 lead for a couple of minutes, because if you remember, Mercyhurst came right back. A big pass play downfield, set up a touchdown that put him up 21-17. And maybe the key to this whole thing was the fact that the Gannon defense was able to come on and make a stand in that 4th quarter. As you had mentioned, they'd been chasing Nowling around the entire game. He had made some big plays on them passing wise. Justin Adams, it seemed like the offensive line was getting him some holes to run, and then all of a sudden, bang, whether it was just conservative play calling on the part of Mercyhurst to kind of let this one slip away. A lot of ifs and wins and could-haves and should-haves, but the fact of the matter is Gannon's ready to win the game right now.
I formation behind Whitfield. He'll dive over the top into the end zone. We see touchdown on one side, and that'll do it. Gannon wins the ball game.
What a big win. And Bill Elias is in the middle of the field, and he is going crazy with his players. They dumped the Gatorade bucket on him. There it is, and Gannon has won their GLIAC opener here at Tulio Field. An historic game, to say the least, from the perspective of it just being played. An historic win for Gannon in their first GLIAC game as a member of the conference. They come out with an overtime win. Just an unbelievable contest.
And so much was made of Darmel Whitfield throughout the course of the 2 weeks before this game about the kind of player he is, his accolades, and you look at what he did on the night, right around 400 yards of total offense by himself. A phenomenal game for Darnell Whitfield.
Oh, he's just an amazing athlete, Adam. And, I mean, he has been doing that for the last couple of years. He's the all-time total yards leader at Gannon, and every yard that he makes just adds to that total. But what a game. I mean, we can go back and analyze this thing for the next hour. You remember Scanlon's missed field goal, that little 22-yard chip shot that he missed, and so on and so forth, and the fumble by Tim Dance that seemingly may have cost his team the game at the time when it put him down by 14 points after Mercyhurst recovered and scored a couple of plays later. And then all of a sudden, here we are with the team shaking hands in the middle of the field, and it's Gannon that comes up the winner. So an amazing, amazing football game to open the season.
Gannon back on the field next Saturday to take on Grand Valley State, and great way for the Knights to start their season with the defending national champions coming to town. Mercyhurst will take on Northern Michigan next Saturday, so both teams with some tough games ahead, and it's only going to get tougher in the GLIAC.
Yeah, and I'm not sure whose job I would want in terms of the coach getting his players ready for the next game, because Bill Elias really has to almost calm his players down because they got Grand Valley State coming up. They've got to almost forget about, well, they got 10 days. They can probably enjoy this one for a few days anyway, and they will. Or Marty Schetzel, who really has to get his team back up after an emotional loss here at home. But then again, if you're in Marty Schetzel's shoes, you got to say to your team, and you got to believe your team is saying, hey, listen, we probably had every opportunity to win this football game tonight. Let's go out and prove to the rest of the GLIAC, and let's finish out the rest of the season strong despite the loss to Gannon. So it'll be tough on both ends, but I'd rather be Bill Elias right now as a winner in his first game than Marty Schetzel.
Most outstanding players on the evening for Gannon, obviously. You expect it. It's Darmel Whitfield for the Lakers. Jeff Nowling, 2 quarterbacks getting the nod. Don't forget, we've got CFL football tomorrow night, Calgary at Hamilton, 7:30 start. Sunday, CFL, Ottawa at Edmonton, 4 p.m. And next Friday night, we kick it off, the high school football season on the Image Sports and Entertainment Network. Grove City travels up to take on Harbor Creek. Join us 7 o'clock for that start. Gary, great job tonight.
Absolutely.
Great to work with you.
Great job, Adam. Nice job. Very well.
Lakers win it 43-37. Thanks to our Image staff here tonight: Jen Joliet, Jason Kosmicki, Jim Piper, Jeff Corey, Kevin Tomine, Mike Francis, Jay Jablonski. For Steve Bowen down on the field and Gary Drapshow beside me here in the booth. Gannon 43, Mercyhurst 37 in overtime. I'm Adam Marco. We will see you next Friday night for high school football here on the Image Sports and Entertainment Network, Erie's leader for live local sports.